starts right now.
"50 days, 5 games. It's hard not to see a touch of emotion spill over into each and every conversation that decorates this stage. The Lenovo Legion Gauntlet has held so many moments. It is a time in esports that I will not easily forget, and many of you who have been watching at home as well will remember this moment for many, many reasons. But especially if you're a Trackmania fan, an esport that has been introduced to the world in a new way. For the first time in 20 years, we have a prize pool that looks to set somebody up for a life-changing amount of money in $130,000. But overall, people just making it into today are earning sometimes more than what they've been able to make by winning a grand final. This is legendary. This is momentous, but also what a way to end our time in Paris. EWC, wow, what a dream. And of course, a place where dreams are dreamed is France, as we welcome you back to our panel to begin an amazing day of Trackmania to close out our time here. My name is Rain Day, and I am joined by Turbo and G-Geek. Gentlemen, looking good as always, but also hopefully feeling good as we culminate this adventure we've all been on with what should be an amazing day of Trackmania.
Yeah, I feel amazing, but there's really something in the air. It's magical. I mean, it's the most important day in Trackmania's history when we talk about esports. $130,000 on the line. I mean, we cannot stress that enough. It's just life-changing for players, and 7 matches to go. Like, it will be a long day still ahead of us.
Sometimes there's hype, and sometimes there's gravity, there's depth. I feel like today there's a little bit of both, G-Geek.
There's a little bit of both, and there's a word that I want to use: effervescence. This is really what I felt when I was hanging around the venue a little bit before we went on live on our show. Everybody's just anticipating a lot of great games. Like, we've seen so many great games, especially day 2 and day 3 have been absolute barn burners, and this 4th and final day of competition where everything is on the line, including the club championship. This is going to be one heck of a show.
He's absolutely right. Not only are we giving away a moment in history for the winner of Trackmania, but they may do something historic for their club as well. Let's bring you to our STC Rewind to show you how we got here. Because getting to this moment, it was anything but easy for these racers. We had upsets. We had emotional turmoil turned into triumph on the other side of it. Speaking of Josh, who's now finally made it into the 16s, his family here ready to support. You look at Paco's family, his sister, his father in the stands as well, rooting. So many different names that, yes, are marquee, but maybe not the Carl Juniors of the world that have had tremendous tournaments. What has been your takeaway, Turbo, from seeing the 3 days that got us here and now going into the finals?
I mean, it's just been amazing. And Carl Jr., of course, is still the GOAT out there. But just imagine winning today as well for Carl Jr. What kind of legacy would that be? But he still has to prove himself, and I also talked about that. His armor was not cracked. He did not feel affected by the performance, by the incredible pace from Neon, but we're gonna see him play him against him again. So this will be something to look out for, and Pac is also in the match, also one of the best players out there, and then Otak as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But the main takeaway is just it's overwhelming. It's astounding. It's just amazing, really.
It's great to see G-Geek. I mean, Carl Jr., Neon, Pac, the stories are endless.
Yeah, the stories are absolutely endless. You were mentioning Neon, the 17-year-old kid, turned 17 the week before competition, showed up in a very strong way already in day number 1 with a great recovery, but then absolutely sent the timesheets and social media ablaze with his performance during day 2, not getting away from Carl Jr. by less than 10 points. I'm just looking forward to see how this kid competes. And of course, we were mentioning Josh, Parents also being the MVP, and Josh with a great amount of resilience through day 2 and day 3 to make it through to the top 16. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to make an even bigger jump, not only in placing, but also in prize money as well, because every single step you take gets you a little bit more of that dough.
Well, in a way, it takes a bit of bravery. I've always felt that competing is risking, and just joining into this fight where you know you'll either win or lose, it's not easy for everybody. Some like to sit on the sidelines, not these players who have now, unfortunately, on one side gotten their keys crushed. But on the other side of that risk is something even greater. $7 million on the line for the winner of the club championship. And it comes down to today. Whether it's in Fortnite, whether it's in Trackmania, we will be deciding very likely the club champion winner, whether it will be Falcons back-to-back or it will be AGAL. This stage holds the key to what could be a legacy for an organization for years and years to come. And we've got Chris Tunn standing by with an update.
Down the Gadea City grin, and it is all going on here today. We got Fortnite. Lauren, look, I'm going to be checking in with you all day because so many important things going on in the club championship here today here in Fortnite.
Yeah, and the fact that it's kind of down to us two as the two deciding games.
A lot of yapping.
We're going to be talking a lot here today, but we're 5 matches in on our match point finals here today. The way that works is the threshold is set 350 points. The team has to hit that, then they have to get a victory royale. That's how they win. If no one does that, there's a max set of 15 matches on the day, so it could go long or it could go short. But right now, we've got Aurora Gaming at the top of our leaderboard, and I know they haven't been in our discussion for the tippy top of the CC leaderboard side of things. However, they were 10th heading into Fortnite, and just for context, if they win, they get those 1,000 points. That puts them ties for 4th. 10th place right now is $650,000. 4th place is $3 million. So this could be massive for Aurora Gaming. Falcons obviously in here as well, Vitality in here as well, AGAL in here as well. All a little bit slower starts today, although Falcons were able to get 1 win so far on the board.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping it up. We just coined it off camera, Club Championship Saturday. That's what we're locking in on today. Plenty of chats will run over the course today. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris Dunn there. We'll show you our Aramco Club Championship leaderboard, which has been keeping us up to date with all of the adjustments. And the thing they mentioned, Aurora Gaming, that's pretty vital because you look at 1,000 points. Obviously, they've got some that you would think are here, but no, it's basically a group of 20 or so. So 1,000 points here, going from 20th where you don't get any to winning, would put them in a position to tie Nada Spencer. That is incredible. She's right. That's millions of dollars. That is a great secondary subplot going on, but Turbo, it's really Falcons and AGAL, and these matches, even in our 16s, are going to show us head-to-head what that's going to look like.
AGL has still 2 players in the racing with Binks and Gwen, and I also talked to the manager before that. He was so nervous, really. He was so nervous because there's just so much on the line, the $3 million gap between 1st and 2nd. But Vitality, they are theoretically also not out on it. I think they have a 0.4% chance. Right?
I mean, what do you got to do to get a 0.4% chance?
It's even lower than that, 0.04. After
does somebody have to trip and fall on the ground or something? Like spill a cup of coffee? Like what makes it such a decimal point? We're going to leave the people in doing the math behind the scenes to do that, because there's one rule that you stick to on broadcast. You try not to do math live.
Exactly. That's what I always say when I cast, when I'm an expert. You don't
math
math on stream.
Do not do math. You will.
Yeah, I mean,
it is always funny, but you look at this, that moment, it's going to be for someone in Trackmania. It's also going to be a moment for somebody potentially in the club championship, either Falcons or AGAL. So much on the line today. I cannot wait. You can tell there's a depth to this. I really, really want you guys to know that in this moment, for some esports, this is like we got another one 2 months later. In Trackmania, I mean, this is legendary. It's historic. And this amount of money, $500,000 for these players, it is life-changing for them. And you can see our tournament bracket right there will lead you into the schedule of how this is going to show up. And look at those players. Look at these competitions that are going to be going on. To start us off, our quarterfinal match number 1 will be Stuffs, Binks, Renati, and Richie. Then we will go to Gwen, who Turbo is calling potentially the favorite here. Epos, Bryn, and Masa, who has driven a lot better than his previous days and starting to get that confidence back. Elcon, Mime, Josh, who we mentioned, had that emotional turnaround with his family support. Paco as well has got family here in Paris. And then, of course, our last quarterfinal, which, guys, could actually be a final, is Carl Jr., Pac, world champion winners and as teammates, and then Neon, the young gun, and Otak.
Otak also being a world champion of 2023 alongside Bran. So we have 3 world champions in this match. And Neon.
And Neon, who is playing maybe better than all of them.
Yeah, who absolutely, as we said, absolutely floored everybody, including myself. I was up there on the desk watching the match live, cross-legged in front of the screen, and at every single world record just pounding the ground saying, who is this kid?
I remember I was watching it backstage in the green room. We were like, another world record, another world record. We couldn't believe our eyes. That was just amazing. But also, Josh, it's, I think, my most favorite storyline of the whole tournament so far, because he was facing elimination. He played that route against Lingo. It was a double final situation, and he was getting through, backs against the wall, and then played the match of his life yesterday. He won against Otak.
He was fantastic. All right, if you think you know who's going to win, and that is very hard to pick right now, it's anybody's race today. Make sure to get your pick'ems in. You can earn your share of $300,000 of prizing, move on up the leaderboard, and of course, brag to your friends. Let us know that you were right, or maybe that you predicted something that nobody else saw. Tuning in, let's switch gears to our very first group of the day, our first quarterfinal. Of course, in Trackmania, we've got 4 players in a quarterfinal, so there's actually still 16 teams left, but they're all going to only advance 2. 2 keys crushed every single match from now on, and stuff Spinks, Granati, and Richie. G-Geek, how do you drive yourself into finding the perfect narrative for this one? Because all of these players have what it takes.
Yeah, indeed. Stufts and Binks have been playing absolutely out of their minds. Stufts, especially on day number 2, looking very, very strong on Japan. Binks, one of the 2 chips in the game for AGAL. And everybody already in the crowd looking to drum up support for him in the race, not only for the overall tournament, but the club championship as well.
And that is not another game. That is Trackmania. That's why the AGAL Fiends are ready. And also Granati played very, very good. He's one of the most consistent players, but then he was ultimately not able to close out the finals mode. And then we also have the local, the Parisian. We have Richie in here as well. An incredible double final situation against Nico, which sealed the deal for day number 4 for him.
And one thing that I want to highlight on Richie is we've talked about the importance in the pick and bans of number 1 and number 2 seed, because you get to choose the first 2 and also the last 2 maps. Here, Richie as number 4 can dictate a lot of the physiognomy of the match, because we talked about him, I talked to him actually a little bit earlier this morning. He was not exactly sure which map he would ban. He would think of sticking to the usual ban of Norway, but Japan left on Japan is kind of left by the wayside. But if you ban Japan, that could be a very good counter for Stufts. It can completely alter the entire storytelling of this entire game.
Interesting.
The world record holder, Stufts was, for me, also one of the players who was just amazing. He had such a poor start into his match on day number 2, but then asserted dominance, setting the world record there as well, crushing it from Neon, driving a 0.15 on Japan. So Japan might be a good ban there, good intel there. We're going to see that very soon. I think now pick and ban phase will be very important to consider.
That is a great point. I know we had a chance to talk about this with our players. We talked about the players. Now let's hear from the players. Stufts had a chance to catch up with Rachel before his first quarterfinal.
I've got Stuffs alongside me, or should I say Prime Stuffs is what you've called yourself. Must be pretty happy with the performances so far.
Yeah, I think so. I've had a lot of struggle this year, I would say, with how I played, but I feel like I'm finally playing good again this tournament.
What's clicked?
I think it's the effort I put in again. I think the maps really suit me, so I think that's a big help as well. But I think it's just all the effort I put in all the time, and I think it's just all coming together now.
When you say the maps suit you, can you tell us a bit more about that? Can you pick that apart for us?
So for me, maps that really suit me are maps that they don't have a lot of tricks. They're just purely driving as fast as you can, just purely doing pace. And I think that's the type of player I am, just go as fast as I can.
And in terms of today, you had yesterday off, which is probably important. How did that look like?
I think for me, it was a nice little rest day. I had some practice.
Stage 2 over there, and Fortnite, who would have been here. So Stuffs clearly has a legacy to be made in Paris, France. We are so close to kicking this off, guys. G-Geek, some final words to hype up the energy, the momentum that we've built over these 3 days going into our final day, not only of Trackmania, but of EWC here.
If you thought the first 3 days were crazy, well, oh boy, hang on tight, buckle up your seatbelts and get ready to be absolutely blown away. Not only with the game upcoming, but with all 6 other games that we're going to have today. And in the end, history being made, and we're all for it.
Look in the background. Look how many people are here. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh,
so many people
What's up,
already in the crowd.
We're back.
Make some noise.
What's up? You adore to see that.
What's up, Trackmania? Wow. We love that you're here. We love that you're ready. This is a moment that you want to say, I was there for, because you could see in Paris, there's something a little bit special. The magic has landed in this beautiful land of architecture, of art, of dreams, and it has now graced our stage of the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet one last time. Whether it is Stuffs or whether it's Binks, Granati, or Richie, or whether we go down the line into Carl Jr., Neon, Pack, and Otak, there is a player in every single race that could determine the fate, not just of this $500,000 prize pool, but of the $7 million prize pool for the club champion and the one who raises the trophy here at EWC.
You got to put it all on the line, and we're about to get ready to let the field loose and go racing all the way to the line here, Kai.
And as you look to get those engines started, we here at the Gauntlet, well, we don't get to decide. We are simply a witness to this incredible opportunity. How lucky we are to be here in France. For one last time, let's begin your show here at the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet.
Bonjour Paris, how we doing out there? Oh, you sound so magnifique, glorious. You rejoin us here on our fabulous Trackmania stage here at the Esports World Cup. It's good to see you here. It is Championship Saturday, all to play for. One more time, Paris, let the world hear you roar! We're ready, we're so ready for this. We started this competition with 32 players. We're now down to 16 at the end of the quarterfinals, down to 8, and only 8 races go through the semis, and then only one today will be your first ever EWC Trackmania victor. It's all on the line here. The pressure is peak, the margins microscopic, and you got a front row seat. My name is Adam Savage, and this racy little so-and-so is the fabulous Milos.
It's always a pleasure to be by your side, Adam, especially when we are at a historic moment. As you mentioned, this is Trackmania's first ever appearance at the Esports World Cup. And this lucky game is probably going to be the one that decides who wins the club championship. 3 teams, Vitality, AGL, and Team Falcons, fighting it out, point after point, to see who can take it all by the end of today. However, the day has to start somehow, and it goes on with our quarterfinals. Please join me in welcoming our first 4 players to the stage. Greats in their own way for game number 1. Stuffs, Granati, Rishi, and Biggs.
The crowd are besotted with what's about to take place here in Paris. We've got ourselves 4 mean, lean racers, all eager to stake their claim on the semi-final. 2 will progress, 2 will have their keys crushed. It all comes down to this. Take a look at this and get yourselves ready.
It's again gonna come down to the turnaround. Big Chuck into training center. Back up. He has the speed. He could not catch him.
We've seen today just the margins, how fine they are. 0.2 of a second in some races, some laps, defining world records and track records every few races. It's incredible. I would love to see Josh 1248 go all the way.
Josh is going to crush his dreams, and Mudder is going to crush his key. It's Josh!
Oh my word!
Being in top 16 is incredible. It was the goal I set out as what I thought if I played my best I could.
One more gate to go for the young man, and he will be the second qualifier coming through.
The win here feels awesome. Not too much expectations before the event, so happy with playoffs already.
It just goes to show the kind of the bigger picture of esports, and it's not just about the players, but about the kind of like the celebrations across, for everyone that they know, and what it can mean to them as well as people.
Massa and Granati will stay alive in this tournament.
I need to step it up, and I need to stop disappointing myself and also other people.
You can really feel it's bigger than just competition. It's become more of like a family and friendship, looking over their shoulders, thinking, who do I have to really worry about here? Who's in my group? Who could be a real competitor going into that kind of final we're going to see tomorrow, the grand final?
For now, I just try to celebrate the fact that I'm going through to the top 16.
What a day here in Paris as we begin the final moment in Trackmania. The crowd, you're alive. You're keeping us alive. You know these racers feel it as well. And whether Granati using the wheel or whether Richie bringing the experience to this matchup, no one knows what is going to happen from now on until the final round that we'll see later this evening. But Kai, this is the moment that these players have been working so hard for.
This is the day we've all been waiting for, not only the players, but also we as the spectators. And take a look onto the band face as well. Norway being the first band from Richie. What can you say about that, Guy?
That was the expected band that he was expected to go with. He did left Japan open, and what do you know, right on cue, Stutz picking Japan as the opener. We might be set already on after the races.
Also, Granati banning South Korea, banning it in every of his matches. And then we have Japan, pick number 1, Canada, Saudi Arabia being picked up by Granati there. And then Hungary and Poland will be map number 5, everybody.
The decider. And one keynote to actually point out, Canada picked by Binks. Binks has not played this map yet, so it will be very interesting to see how he stacks up against the rest of these competitors.
I agree. Great pace there is needed on this particular map, and the crowd is getting ready. We are ready. The players are ready.
And I'm ready as well, which means our casters are also ready to take this. Trackmania, Paris, we love you. Let's get into what will be a legendary day by sending it over to your casters, Noah and Twiggy.
I'm not quite sure I am ready, Twiggy, to be totally honest. Rainday's putting words in our mouth there.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like playoff Trackmania. 3 incredibly intense days of competition to bring us to this point, and it will all culminate in just a few hours' time with our first ever EWC Trackmania champion.
There's not really many words that can describe what everyone here is feeling right now. It is an unreal event and an unreal... Well, it's not even the finals yet, it's just the playoffs.
We've got 3 more quarterfinals to go after this one. And I'll tell you what, Twiggy, I was looking at that pick ban, and I think immediately Stutz' chances of making it through this quarterfinal rose dramatically. Japan, the first map we are getting onto. That means we will be seeing it again in the rotation, guaranteed at a very important time of the match later on. I think Stutz, all of a sudden, just with how this pick ban went, in with a great chance.
Yeah, I mean, look, the performance that Stutz put up, last time we were out on here, absolutely unreal. I mean, keep in mind that Neon was setting time after time after time, and then Stutz came and blew him out the water here on Japan. And the consistency as well was the thing about him.
Now, unfortunately, Stutz has crashed the first round of the match on Japan here. He's now down by about 7/10 on the other racers, but it is a serious battle up front between Binks and Granati for that first 10 points. Those sweet, sweet points. You love to get a first place, of course, in these matches. It is so far ahead of what you get for second, and it really can be match deciding. Just picking up a couple more first places at key times over your opponents can make all the difference.
Well then, some people, which I'm sure are going to be very happy right now in the crowd, the AGAL fans, Binks out in first place, and of course the club championship is probably going to be decided by Trackmania. So if Binks keeps doing well, people are going to be very happy, and that's a good start, taking a lot of speed through the identity of Japan and coming home to a first place.
Richie nearly catching Granati at the end there, but as you said, the AGAL fans don't care about that. They're just celebrating seeing Binks win round 1 here in our first quarterfinal of the day. That's a big 10 points. Disappointing first round for Stutz, only picking up 3, coming home in 4th place. It was an early mistake. We'll see if he can get out in front this time.
Exactly, he's going to have to make up for it in the other rounds, and that's not a good start. Another clip right at the beginning of the map means that he will not have a chance to catch up, barring any massive mistakes from anybody in front.
We'll see if any of those mistakes do come through, but even then, he's almost definitely out of the running for that first place in this round. He said it himself at the start of this match. We saw the interview with Rachel. Granati, a player who is known, he is consistent, he has that experience, and he's not going to let many mistakes go unpunished, you feel, in this match. At the moment, no mistake from any of the other three drivers. Richie battling wheel to wheel with Granati front. Binks just behind the pair of them at the moment. Granati edging out a lead as we head towards this identity. Release is coming through. It's all about your release timings here. How much speed can you carry on out of it as well? And Granati doing a wonderful job. Binks as well. Both of them pull away from Richie.
Binks was ahead of Granati at this point in the last round, and he does pull ahead, but Granati will have more exit speed coming out of that section. It is really neck and neck. Who is going to take more speed through the identity? Who's going to be braver? Who is going to try to push their limits? Binks has more speed, but it's not close to enough. Granati crosses the line first, and in procession, 400ths behind. Binks is going to have to settle for 6. This is going to be a tight battle between these two.
What I will say for Stutz, the one positive maybe after 2 rounds where he has come 4th place on a map that he has looked so good on, is that the times from our other drivers are not yet incredibly impressive. You can see it in your top left of your screen right there. Stutz with the 1:15.151 does have the tournament record on this track, and nobody else's time in the first couple of rounds really looking to push that just yet. If Stutz can slow down with these mistakes, stop making mistakes early in the track, he still has a chance when we wrap back around to this map later on. But right now, it is looking like a poor start on Japan for Stutz. 3 rounds, 3 crashes.
On the flip that time, catching his car on the edge and, well, I mean, completely stopping all of his momentum. This is not the start that he will want here on Japan. He's going to have to really try, well, just to make it back to Japan at a certain point. If Binks and Granati continue to run away with things, we have seen incredibly short series.
We really have. Richie just not able to keep up through the middle sector of the track. Both of these other drivers overtaking him, even though he held the lead earlier on. Has managed to catch back up to Granati now. It's Binks out with a clear lead. A little bit of daylight behind him, and it's all about bravery through Japan. How close do you cut it? How much speed do you carry through these gates? Right now, Granati carrying more than Richie, and he will carry that all the way to the finish line. Will take a 2nd place, but it is Binks picking up his 2nd first place of the match, moving to 26 points.
Really does feel like it's the Binks and Granati show right now. Maybe if you asked anybody before the event who would come out on top in this lineup, probably you would get the answer of Binks and Granati. But the way these players have been playing over the course of the whole tournament, it was always going to be up in the air here on the server. And this time around, once again, Stuffed off to a good start. Something's gone wrong for him every single round so far.
It has, but this is by far the best start we've seen from Stuffed on this map, and he is already 2/10 ahead of anyone else, looking incredibly quick, and this would be a settler. This would help him ease his way back into the match if he can get that one good round on Japan before we leave it behind.
He's got a lead of several tenths right now. It's a nice start to have here on Japan where, well, you're less trying to push for pace and you're more trying to stop yourself from slowing down as much as possible. How much do you want to risk by braking as little as you can here? A place where you're not going to be braking here in this section. And Binks, again, taking a lot of speed out of it. It's not nearly enough to catch up to Stuffed, however, and into the identity. How quickly can he get through this one? This is exactly what Stuffed will have wanted over the course of the rest of Japan, and it's absolutely brilliant. It is flawless, and it's a new world record from Stuffed.
I said it. Did I not say it, Twiggy, that nobody else's times looked like they were as quick as Stuffed's potential was on that track in this match? And unfortunately for Stuffed, that is our final round on Japan for the time being. But I will maintain what I said at the beginning. We will be wrapping back around to that map later at a very pivotal time in the match as we start to approach finals for the first time. Stuffed remains a threat if he can keep himself in position heading through the rest of the match. But for now, we'll leave Japan behind. We are heading to Canada.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Stuffed. It's bittersweet leaving Japan behind right as you got a world record. 3 very disappointing rounds, but at the very least that's going to gain you some confidence. And hey, he's played all the rest of the maps as well, so it's not like he can't do the same elsewhere, whether or not he's as confident and as quick happy to do so. I mean, speed, that's the key here, right? Can Stuffed actually get pace like that on another map?
is key. And well, can he get consistent as well on these other maps? Because it is mistakes that have cost him so far. Granati looking very solid so far, maybe just losing out on pace in that final round, but has been there, and Binks in particular looking quick, looking threatening in this match. It is all 4 drivers off the line cleanly. This uphill, any mistakes to be made? Not this time around. We still have 4 drivers out on track.
Yeah, now we're in the playoffs. It does really feel like another echelon has been reached here by the players, and nobody is slowing down for anything, nobody taking safe lines, and yet still relatively flawless. I mean, the mistakes that we've seen from Stuffed, one of them I wouldn't even call a massive mistake. It was more just unlucky. And, well, with Ricci down by 3/10, that is definitely still catchable. It's all going to come down to the identity here. Granati and Binks right behind, and then Stuff's coming in, flying through the identity. May just get an overtake on 1. Can he get an overtake on 2? It's Granati over the line first, but Stuffs gets the overtake on the Binks.
This is what we expect to see from playoff Trackmania, Twiggy, is consistency starts to become a little bit less of a factor the deeper we go into a tournament, because the players who make it to the end of a tournament are the players who have not been crashing. And so pace really does start to become the defining feature of these matches. How quick can you get around this track? How hard can you push the times that you have been practicing before the tournament even begins? And right there, Stuff showing incredible pace at the end, managing to overtake on that final corner down through the identity, starting off well in this second round on Canada 2.
So Ricci, who starts off well on the uphill there, getting a lot of speed. Oh
dear.
Was a little too overzealous on the turn, falls back into 4th place once again. I believe we just saw Granati touch the inside there of the turn. He'll fall back. Stuffed and Binks now are the 2 players looking for first place, and Stuffed has definitely gained some confidence from that round on Japan. He's looking very good here on Germany as well. Out in first for the identity, and
oh dear, that's Stuffed. He's gone. He's crashed on the inside. Binks will return the favor of that overtake from the first round. This time, though, it's for a first place. Granati ultimately takes second as Stuffed falls all the way down to 4th place, and that is his most costly mistake in the match yet. Dropping from 1st to 4th is a huge swing in the points.
It's absolutely massive. And just as he was looking like he was finding some form here, pushing his way up, and the gap maintains at about 20 points between all of these players here. And unfortunately, he's going to have to confidence once again. Ricci hasn't found any over the course of the series so far, and drops back into 4th for a 3rd time here on Canada.
Yeah, tough go for Ricci at the moment. Hasn't fallen all that far away from Stuffs on the leaderboard, but both of them starting to trail Granati and Binks by margins that are starting to feel a little bit untenable. Need to start closing that gap soon if you can. Stuff's got a nice overtake on Binks through the identity in the first round here on Canada. In position to maybe go for it again, but Granati starting to extend that lead to the point where it does not feel like he can be caught as long as he doesn't send it into a pole. He sends it into a pole. That will be Granati caught. It's Binks looking for a win, but Stuffs will snipe. This time it's for first, and that is a full 10 points for the Dutchman.
This time it's him capitalizing off of the mistakes of others. And some good speed at the end gets him another overtake onto Binks. Unfortunate there for Granati, not the place you want that to happen whatsoever. After, he'd been staking his claim on this game. He has given up that lead now to Binks. 2 points ahead.
Not all that much. Just yet. Still plenty of time for those leads to grow. We are moving towards the 140-point limit in this match. Once you get there, these players will be looking to lock in their finalist mode by winning a round once they've reached 140 points. That's what it takes to move on. So not just consistency, but the ability to actually win a round in the clutch when it matters as well. And Stuffed, well, he's having a little bit of a tough time clutching things out at the moment. When he's been developing these leads, he is making these small errors that are costing him. It's not all that much of a cost this time around. He is still sitting in 2nd place, but it was a clear 1st place for much of the track.
It's an incredibly close round, this one. Everybody within 2/10 of each other as we go around the final corner. Granati takes it perfectly. He's got a lot of speed. He should be absolutely fine with his line through there, and it is Binks over the line. And Ricci, I think, misses that final checkpoint.
Yeah, he did ultimately get across the line. I could see it there on Granati's screen. That 3 points pop up. It will not be a DNF for Richie in that one, but a little bit unfortunate in a round where he was finally at least putting together a run. He still wasn't really challenging for first place, but was within a couple of tenths. Richie crashing at the finish line. You don't love to see it. I'll tell you what I do love to see coming down the pipeline, though, Twiggy. You know what I love to see coming down the pipeline?
What's that?
Saudi Arabia. This map has been an awful lot of fun so far.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it has had such a rate of DNFs and so much drama at that final jump. We've seen players push and push and push for more time through it by going lower or by tilting their car even further, which has just caused more and more crashes.
Yeah, it really has. It's that final jump in particular, right? When you are aiming for that small gap, you have to time your releases perfectly. And as the adrenaline kicks in on the stage, as the nerves hit here on finals day in particular, I am going to see, I'm guaranteeing it now, there will be crashes here on Saudi Arabia. And it is a map we have seen a lot of as well. Not a lot of players remaining in the top 16 who will ban this one away.
No, not at all. And we did see towards the end of those decider games that players were kind of going, I'm not really sure I want to risk this. Not really sure I want to put up what could be, 80 points in a series on a map where 25% of the time I'm not finishing the map.
Yeah, it can get a little bit scary. At least this time around it's a little bit later, but we could see some decisive finals rounds here yet, Twiggy, in this match. We'll have to wait and see. That's a long way in the future. I'm not going to guarantee that one. I'm just guaranteeing the crashes. That's all I can give you for sure. But right now, you know who hasn't crashed? Richie, looking for a good finish for the first time in a little while in this match. Stuffs, though, is perfect. Look at the speed he gains, hits the boost button towards the finish line. That is a great round from Stuffs, who picks up 10. Richie, with a PB on Saudi Arabia as well, is going to finally get a second place.
It's big for them. It's exactly what they need. As the gap to Granati and Binks slows and narrows down just a little bit. Richie.
Just only a little bit, let's be clear. It's going to take a couple more rounds like that, except for Stubbs, who really has been staying close to them at the very least.
Exactly. Richie still trailing by just under 30 points, but Stubbs getting a lot closer.
Yeah.
A few more rounds like that.
Yeah.
Be absolutely perfect, but Granati and Binks, not liable to let that happen. I mean, beautifully low jumps from both Granati and Binks send them further into the lead.
I thought too low from Granati. I thought he was going to clip on the way through, but judged to perfection. The wheelman himself, pretty good on precision, as it turns out. That wheel helping him out as he is now through into the lead of the race. Stuff's pressuring Binks behind Granati, looking maybe for an overtake in the jump here. All about bravery as we head through it. Although Granati has hit a wall. Granati has lost position, so Stuffs inherits the lead. He's in first place. Is he able to get it as clean as he was the first time around? Is Binks making it? He's not. Stuffs will take first. It's clean and he's through. Richie will take second again. Granati nearly caught him, and Binks will settle for fourth. And so it's nearly exactly the same finishing position as we had in the previous round, just a slightly more unconventional method of reaching that finishing.
Yeah, and Stuffs has done it. He's up there on 60 with the two leaders for the time being. The AGAL fans in the crowd are going to start to sweat a little bit now.
They've gone a bit quiet.
It was a real good start from Binks, and it's dwindling slowly, but we're not even halfway done yet, so plenty of time yet to regain some form.
There really is. Granati in particular maybe looking to regain here. We kind of said it on Japan, right? The map that Stuffs picked, that he's looked so good on, didn't go great for him. And Granati, he's the one who picked Saudi Arabia. He has looked very strong on this map as well. He would like to start to pick up some of those 10-pointers for himself and stop letting Stuffs back into this match if he can avoid it. But there are 4 drivers all within a couple of tenths of each other here at the moment. It's only just over a tenth from first to fourth, and that gap is shrinking as we head deeper into the track. All first wheels on the ground through that hill. Will there be a mistake here? There was from Granati in the last round. A lot safer this time around. Too safe. He's let Binks out into the lead. Now Stubbs is coming from behind as well. All 4 drivers into the jump together. We're going to lose none of them. God. Binks has the lead from Stubbs. He's overtaken Granati, and it will be Binks to take the round win. And all of our drivers make it cleanly to the end, something we have not seen very often on Saudi Arabia.
The way the crowd lights up as soon as Binks manages to get around in his favor. It's exactly what they want to see.
It really is, yeah. They've got a very loud drum if it starts going well enough for Binks at any second.
Yes, they do. My head knows exactly all about it.
Ringing in the ears.
Yeah.
And, well, we'll see if we can get some of that noise going in the crowd on this round. Binks not been winning out on these close rounds all that well. I think it's fair to say he's done very well in some of them back on Japan, but since then, when it gets close like this, Stufts has really been having the advantage, having the edge, has managed to finish well in a lot of these rounds. And Binks now is starting to drift just a little bit away from those two leaders. In this moment, that is Stufts and that is Granati. They are right on top of each other. Stufts losing a little bit of speed there, but he does keep the line pretty clean, so will not lose a huge amount of ground, but he's not contesting Granati for the lead of the round anymore. In this moment, Granati less safe this time around through that jump, will maintain the lead out in front. Will there be a miss? Will there be a mistake? Granati through the air, he's clean. Stufts is a little bit cleaner, but he will not be able to close the gap, and it will be Granati with 10 points for the first time in a little while, as Stufts will settle for second, but I think he'll still be pretty happy with it, seeing Binks down in fourth.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, all things considered, a pretty uneventful Saudi Arabia, honestly. Yeah.
Much less crashes than we expected, I think. I guaranteed crashes, and we only got a couple.
Yeah.
At least I didn't put a number on it.
Yeah,
you know?
didn't guarantee
I
one
just said
every round.
crashes, and
Yeah.
there were at least two.
Yeah, well, hey.
Yeah.
Tell you who will be happy about is the players.
Yes, that's true.
Who I feel like, as we've moved through Saudi Arabia's over the course of the tournament, have come to kind of despise that end a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But oh well, they don't have to deal with it anymore at all. It's Hungary, which another map
Speaking of
where,
difficult maps at the
maybe
end
not
here.
quite as many DNFs, but definitely as many crashes.
Absolutely. Hungary, a map that is going to cause the soul to leave the bodies of some of these players, I think, at different points. Definitely that final jump has caused some real upsets in rounds already in this competition. Might just do so again here in our first quarterfinal of the day. We now have 3 players within 5 points of each other. Richie, the only one who has not joined the party on above 70 points. Not quite halfway to that 140, but everyone else starting to edge towards it and starting to think about whether or not they can reach finalists with time to spare before their opponents.
Well, Stuffed up at the top for the time being. Hungary can be very processional until the very end.
Yes.
We're going to see a lot of players holding hands as they move through here. I mean, absolutely nothing separating them through that checkpoint. It's going to be an insane finish if it maintains this position here. Binks moves up into first, but just by a hair's breadth here. Granadi right behind in fourth. Can they hold this position, and who is going to be the first to make a mistake? Everybody but Granadi catches a wheel there on that first jump, and it's Richie in behind for a second place. Stuffed and Binks, third and fourth.
That's a big 10 points for Granadi. Was already leading from Stufts and Binks, but extends that lead in pretty big jump there. One swell swoop.
You're a
Granadi
swell
will jump 10 points clear of anyone else in the match. Delighted to have Richie just slotting in behind him in second place. Just there. Sorry, what did you call me? Excuse me?
I called you a swell food.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're all right.
Well, we'll see if Granadi can do it again. He was a little bit reliant on the mistake from Stufts and Binks in that last round, as it did take both of them clipping wheels. They were looking quick up until that point.
Indeed. Well, Stuffed, speaking of quick, he's out in first place this time once again. And as long as he doesn't crash his car, should be fine.
Should be fine.
That is kind of
How hard can it be to not crash your car?
Yeah, exactly.
Extremely, as it turns out. We've been watching 32 of the best players in the world.
The
for the
tracks
last
are
3
kind of
days,
formulated exactly for that.
kind of trying to make you crash your car at
Well,
different points.
Speaking of which, here comes Stuffs now.
And he's
And
crashed
he's
his
done
car.
it again.
Yeah.
He's done it again, and Granadi is safe on through. Once again, the exact same story. Perfect from Granadi. Binks comes home in second. Rikshi takes third. Stuffs now needs to make a safe finish happen, which just about. Oh,
yeah. You do hit those slow-mo blocks on the way through to the safe finish, so it is slower than it looks if you have not seen Trackmania before and you're not keeping an eye out for those slow-mo blocks as well. So Stufts will take fourth place again. Same mistake, same place, twice in a row on the track. Feeling a little bit, honestly, Twiggy, like Japan was for Stufts as well, where he's out in front. He's clearly got the pace to win these rounds, and he's just making, I'm going to call them silly mistakes, right? That was one that maybe you could have adjusted for a little bit after the last round, and he had the gap, you know, he didn't need to full risk it on a low jump onto that block.
Yeah, it does feel like Stuffed is one of those players where it's all or nothing. on every single kind of area where you could gain or lose a massive amount of time. It is, I'm either going to do it perfectly or I'm not going to even bother at all.
Yeah.
He is back down in 4th place now. Based on the way these finishes have been going, it really doesn't matter unless you're down by more than a second.
It can't happen again. Surely Granati can't inherit the lead again from somebody making a mistake on that block. He has, though. He's through into the lead, and it will be a 3rd round win for Granati. He's taken them every time, and at no point has Granati been leading this map with 2 corners left to go. He's still won. He still made it. At no point has Granati been leading with 2 corners to go, Twiggy. He's still won 3 rounds.
Yeah, that is, oh man.
That's tough.
Wheel buff.
I mean, it's what Stuft called out earlier in the match, right? Maybe Stuft has the pace, maybe Binks has the pace as well, but Granati definitely coming in with the consistency here on Hungary.
Yeah. Oh boy. I mean, I can't believe this is going to be an elimination match.
Yeah.
Oh god,
every match today, Twiggy, we will have to send 2 players home, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Can we start I don't know, brand new losers bracket?
Yeah, let's make it double elim right now.
Sure, absolutely.
Come on. We need more Trackmania.
We definitely have the authority.
I don't want to say goodbye
call,
to anyone else. Richie.
How do you feel about saying goodbye to Richie in this round?
Hey, well, Granati's in 1st place. He's never been in 1st place on Hungary here.
That's true. Maybe it's not Granati inheriting the win. It's just whoever is in 2nd. Let's wait and see. Granati onto this platform will not make a mistake. See, that's how you do it, boys. You just have to make sure you get clear. Granati, though, a little bit slower than Binks. I don't think there's enough track left. There won't be. A perfect map for the player from Big. Granati will pick up 40 points at genuinely a great time. I mean, what a time to have a perfect map, Twiggy, right? Now on 119 points, jumping from 89 all the way up there, and now he's only 2-3 rounds, well, not 2, but 3 or 4 rounds, shall we say, away from finalists potentially.
Well, indeed. We're going to move to Poland now. I don't recall how well Granati did on Poland last time we saw him on this map, actually. Have we seen Granati?
We almost definitely have. Don't ask me. I mean, that's unfair.
Don't ask me. Oh my God. Don't make me do my job.
Last time we were here, Granati looked like the fastest player in his match. He was up against Massa Wizzy and Flimsy, and I believe he looked brutally quick. In fact, he might be a serious threat here. I said maybe 3 rounds until Granati hits finalist. He might even close out the match on this one, if I'm being honest with you, Twiggy.
Well, that was why I asked. Very much possible now that Granati can take it away here. And it would be that scrap for 2nd place that we've seen so many times over the course. Oh man, well, it won't happen this round.
It won't happen this round. I was just pointing out to Twiggy here that Granati, one of the few players in the competition who does have a PB on this map that is below 109. He is in 108.9 range along with Gwen. Not quite alongside Massa, who on the offline version of this map does it to 108.8. But here we go again. Stuft is quick. He's out to a couple of tenths lead. It's shrunken already. It's now half a tenth of a lead. Can he hold on to it, though? As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he might be in with a chance to win it. And with Granati having jumped up so close to the 140 already, for Stuft and Binks, it's starting already, I would say, to kind of be do or die time. There are only 2 slots available in the semi-finals.
That's a great jump from Binks, and he'll move up into 1st place. And it's safe through the water, but not for Stuft. Clips a wheel, falls all the way back. Maybe Granati can scrounge together a few points out of this one, but it's Binks and Richie who are in 1st and 2nd unscathed, and Binks can play it as safe as he wants through to the finish line. Richie right behind, but Binks is the 2nd player past 100. Oh, it was close at the back.
Stuff still holds off Granati, but Granati, look, he's on 122. Ultimately, even if he'd won 2 rounds, look, if he'd won 2 rounds in a row, he still would have been on 139 points. So now Granati can win 2 rounds in a row. He just needed to get a finish in at some point, and he was feeling okay about how things are. The map positioning still, or the match positioning, I should say, that was points overall, still looking very, very good for Granati. Maybe looking a little less good for Stuft after that round, as Binks has also hit triple-digit points.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much a nice thing to see as a player, as you are within 40 of getting finalist, though of course we've had many victims of finalist mode.
Yes, we have
already.
There's no guarantees.
95% of your performance might just not matter whatsoever. You've got to get that 1st place in the end. And right now, Stuff's doing a good job of trying to claw back some of these points here. Binks right behind. See through the water, Stuff playing it a little more safe, and that has lost him out on a little bit of speed. Binks comes flying through. Can he make anything happen here in the identity? It looks like it. Way lower, way more risky, and way more speed. Stuff's fighting back, but it's too little too late. No, it isn't. He's got him. He's got him at the finish line.
Wow, Binks got a little bit wobbly at the end there. He did all the work he needed to, and it was frankly a couple of the easier jumps left in this identity. He really had made the push that he needed to, but he just couldn't hold the speed he came in with. And so Stuff's allowed back through into first place, and that is a lifeline, frankly, thrown from Binks to Stuffs in this match.
Oh, that changes things.
It does.
It does.
It changes.
Everything
Well,
changes.
yeah, every player score has changed after that last round, as all of them managed to move at least a little bit closer to that 140-point mark. Granati not moving there very quickly, though. Now only 15 points ahead of Binks, and he may not have a huge amount of time on finals by himself, especially if Poland continues to not go all this well. We know he's got the pace. We know he can be quick. He has not been able to show it yet in this match with these opponents. He's still looking for a good round here on Poland. Is this going to be the one? He has work to do if he wants it to be. He's sitting in 4th place. Now he's sitting in 3rd place. Stuffs and Richie ahead. Granati looking to move up into 2nd place through the water, and I think he's done it. He will be ahead of Richie. One player left in front of him. The gap only 49 thousandths between Granati and Stuffs, and that's great speed from Granati. One corner left to go. A couple of jumps left. Granati, it's a drive from 4th all the way up to 1st. Granati will cross the line ahead of anyone else, and he will pick up the full 10.
Well, you can't ask for a much better round coming back from 3rd position than that.
4th position. He did start that drive in 4th.
Yeah.
Went all the way to 1st, and now he sits 1 second place or better away from finals, Twiggy.
Well, I'll be very, very happy with that. Stuffed has done a good job here on this map. He's caught up to Binks, but he needs to push it a little further as well. Right now it's Binks out in 1st. Oh, everybody getting so close to that dirt wall. No touches, however. Everybody will stay up where they are. Richie falls back just a little bit. But other than that, nothing to separate these 4 amazing drivers here.
What a match it has been so far. What a day of Trackmania it has been. We're not even done. Match 1. We have a lot left to go. Binks, though, does not have a huge amount left to go in this round. I don't even think he was going to recover that. That is almost definitely, I think, well, he might still be out on track. We'll wait and see. Right now, the battle up front, the important one, is Granati and Stuffs looking to get 10 points. Granati now feeling good, though. A 1st or a 2nd will get him onto finalist. He does not need to overpush this. Allowing Stuffs through into 1st place is okay. Doesn't feel great. You'd still prefer to get the 10 points, but this will be Granati hitting finals first. He's not going to let Stuffs have those 10 points uncontested, but Stuffs will take them away anyway. Granati, though, that is the story of that round. Will get his 2nd place, will hit finalist, needs just one more 1st place, 1 round win to advance to a semi-finals.
Yeah.
Whee!
Whee! Wheel players, maps, camera spinning around the map as they let it sit in between rounds, and it falls all the way to the left or all the way to the right. Granati making sure he's hydrated, heading back to a map where now, Twiggy, now things, I think, get very interesting. We're heading back to Japan, and Stuffed, well, yes, he did not have a good Japan. Our last time of asking, did set a world record.
Yesterday, yep, that's true. And has warmed up into the match since we visited Japan the first time, I think, right? Or sorry, no, he set the world record today.
Yes.
Yes.
In the final round.
Yes.
You forgot because he came 4th in every other round.
In every other round. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, yes, Stuff's very good on Japan. Has not had a good match on so far.
I gave Noah.
Yeah, truly disgusted with my inability to remember basic facts about the match. We are still watching as Granati is now in finalist mode, but Stuffs is quick, Stuffs is fast, Stuffs is a threat on this map to, I think, anyone in this competition. And right now, Stuffs is in 1st place, but he has crashed. Again. And so all of a sudden, maybe the door open for Granati to close out finals mode on this first time of asking. Richie, the closest player to him, Binks about a 10th back, but Binks is being brave. He is sending it. They do not want to allow Granati out of this match freely. They do not want to let him go without a fight.
Richie pushing. They're going to need to push so much harder here. Granati seems to be feeling it, knows that victory is right there. Survival almost is right there. A path to the semi-finals, etched out in front of him.
Well, I mean, he releases an awful lot earlier than Binks there. That allows Granati to a speed heading down this hill into the identity, and that's a crash.
Oh, that's it.
From Binks. That should be it. Granati now well in the clear. Rich is still a couple of dents behind. Granati on the wheel. He doesn't crash these. He's used to precision. He does crash these. I made a fool. I made a liar in front of you all. As Granati will spiral down to 4th place. Richie gets his 10.
It doesn't matter if he finishes, but still.
Doesn't matter if he DNFs or not. It's first or nothing right now for the German. And that was nothing. That was a final corner crash from him in a round where I'm not sure he's going to get one as free as that again on Japan here.
He's just going to have to lock back in and try again. And that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, it's hard to tell what's going on that man's face, but he does not look happy.
Understandably so. Yeah, absolutely. Again, up against some players who are capable of setting incredible times. On Japan, Stutz in particular, I think even if there's a gap of a tenth, a couple of tenths heading into the identity, oh my lord, Stutz! The bravery, the speed he carried through there, that may be the fastest we have seen anyone through that section all week long, as it has taken Stutz from a 10th and a half behind Granati to now just under half tenth ahead, heading towards the identity. Stutz still leading from Granati, and Binks is there as well, just in case Stutz needs a hand denying Granati at this point. We will be entering the identity with Stutz still in the lead, and again, I just think he's brave, he's fast, he's capable of taking a lead and taking it all the way to a finish. Stutz needs to not be too brave right now, just needs to bank these 10 points, move to 133, and Granati has now had 2 bites at the apple, and it is still bobbing around in front of him out there. There's another world record. Did I not tell you, Twiggy? That is the fastest we've seen anyone through the middle of the track yet.
Oh my god, man.
Oh my
what
days.
a map to come back to at this stage. And Stutz is now within reach of finalist as
still 2
well.
rounds here. Stutz could just win the next 2 rounds here. It's well within the realm of possibility. Stutz equally could crash the next 2 rounds here and end up allowing Granati through.
I mean, all it would take is one small mistake and Granati would capitalize, but he's had such a hard time here on Japan, the second time of asking.
Yeah.
But who else has is Binks. Binks has not been gaining points here.
That's the same place, the same speed. He's carrying so much, he keeps it out of the wall, and once again, he comes from a 10th behind and he overtakes Granati through the middle of the track.
Oh my god, these two are vying for position. Granati wants this so much, does not want to be denied again here. Does not want to be in a situation where he lets Binks onto finalists as well. The AGAL fans can't even watch.
Understandable. I wouldn't be watching either if it wasn't quite literally my job in this moment to do so. The tension is unbearable. Granati holds the lead from Stutz as we head into the identity, but we have seen the crashes. We've also seen Stutz able to risk it through here. Look at him, he's closing the gap. He's got the speed. He's got Granati. Stutz crashes. Granati is through.
Oh, what is going on today? Woo! Oh, I can't believe it. Granati through. It's off the back of a mistake, but I don't think he cares. I do not think he cares.
He does not. I'll tell you what, Granati is through, but Stutz also through that last round. But I think a function of how hard he was risking that identity, Stutz's pace absolutely unreal. It comes at the cost of a little bit of that consistency here on Japan. He was on for another great snipe and a great round just there, but ultimately not able to hold on to it. And now Binks is within reach of hitting finalist himself. Stutz would need someone else to win the round in order to deny it, and Stutz, well, he just needs to finish and he'll be finalist.
Well, he's well on his way to that. I don't think Stutz knows the meaning of just finish. We have a few players like that at the tournament that just don't care. They don't care. If playing it safe is an option, they're just going to go for it anyway. And Stutz is on a tear once again. Maybe a little less fervent than he usually looks here, but other than that,
you say that. But here we go.
Yeah.
The Anthony
Still
Binks is
first.
the player who clips. The AGAL fans will hate to see that Stuft is a long way out in front, and that will be the round win.
Smooth.
Took him around to do it, but now Stuft will hit finalists. But there's only one place left up for grabs in the finals. Stuft will need to do it against Binks, and he will not have the safety blanket, will not have the comfort of doing it on Japan.
Binks, you saw there, just had to recenter himself.
Yep.
It's a good time to have a map pause if you're Binks.
It is, but I throw my mind back, Twiggy, to what happened the last time we were on Canada in this match. And I distinctly remember Stuft sniping Binks repeatedly.
Yes.
Which is not a great place to be in for Binks now that Stuft is on finalist.
Yeah, sometimes though, I think you've just got to go, all right, well, I can't do anything else.
Just got to drive my race. Just got to go as fast as I can. There is
Can't
one
walk over the stage and break
spot.
his kneecaps. I've just got to drive, unfortunately.
There is one spot in the semi-finals left up for grabs, but there are 2 slots available in that hydraulic press awaiting behind that back wall right now. And it's all down to just a couple more rounds to decide who will be going where. Richie, technically not out of it just yet either, but it would take a serious run of very impressive rounds from Richie in order to put together a real challenge for that second semi-final slot.
If there was ever a time for Richie to have a glow up here in the series, this would be it. And he's out in front right now. And more importantly here for the fans in the crowd, Binks has overtaken Stuft.
Yeah. That is an
Those
important
points.
overtake, right?
Yeah.
Even if Richie does end up winning this round, if Stuft can beat Binks, if he can take the second, Binks still isn't on finalist. So Binks desperately trying to hold on to one of these top 2 spots. Richie in particular desperately trying to hold on to first, and Stuft, he's just here. If there are mistakes up front, if he can get through, it wouldn't be how he'd want to do it on pace, but he'll
he's
take
gonna
a win
get 10.
either way. It is going to be Binks taking 10. It is going to be Richie settling for second, but Binks is on finalist, and one round could now separate 2 of these players from advancement.
Oh, here we go. It always felt like this was going to happen, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. Look, a little bit maybe more roundabout than we expected getting here. With Granati through first and Stuft and Binks battling it out for second place, almost exactly how most people were predicting this match to go.
Yeah, well, comes down to the wire now. One round.
Oh, Binks has crashed.
He's gone.
He's out of there.
Free for Stuft as long as Richie does not overtake.
No, he's fine.
No,
he's
he's
That was
fine.
just
It was
release.
just
That's-
a
that release
regular
got me.
slowdown.
On purpose. On purpose.
You're
from
jittery,
Stuft.
Nua. You're jittery.
I'm spooked. I'm scared. Richie has still closed the gap, though. Let's be clear. Stuft's maybe over-releasing through those prior sections, and he's now got Richie glued to his rear bumper. Only a little bit of track left to go. Maybe only a few seconds between Stuft and the semi-final of the EWC 2026. But Richie is right here.
Oh,
Stuft
it's
needs
so
to send
good.
it. It's so clean. He's so quick. He is so very much a semi-finalist at EWC 2026. It was called out before the match. His destiny lay with either the Fortnite or the Trackmania. It was always going to be on one of those stages here at EWC, and I am glad, Twiggy, that it is with the Trackmania.
I mean, oh my God, the AGAL fans. They were elated when Team Falcons went out of CS2 yesterday.
They were
elated. Their chance with 2 Trackmania players to get things done. They only have 1 remaining here in the playoffs.
Tell you what, though, not a bad one to have remaining. Gwen still playing for AGAL. His quarterfinal coming up just a little later on in the day. But for now, we will be celebrating Granadi and Binks. We will be mourning the loss of 2 excellent competitive Binks. 3-day theme for today, Biggie. I think it's going to be very sad to see all of these players go, because they have made this tournament what it is so far.
Yeah. I mean, what an amazing way to finish it. We have not had a single game that hasn't delivered.
Yes.
In some form. There have been a few where we haven't had several finalists, but they have still delivered.
Absolutely. I mean, sure, yeah, Carl Jr. and Neon may not have allowed anyone else to finalist, but Neon did set 5 world records as a 17-year-old in that match. So, you know, come see, come ça.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're really feeling the moment here in France. Oh, so many.
Granadi was so scary.
So many of those moments here in this game, and you can feel it from Grenadi, and as well as that from Stuffed, and you can feel just the heartbreak on the AGAL side of things. But now it's time for us to throw it over to the stage and to Milos.
Bittersweet is every single moment here at the Esports World Cup once you get deep into the tournament, and this is where we are. Our quarterfinals set and ready. Please joining me, Grenadi, victor of this first quarterfinal. They'll be crushing the first key. That'll be Binks eliminated. AGL fans, this is what it comes down to. Grenadi victorious, and that's the first key crushed. There it is. The elimination for Big. Gentlemen, come on in here. Grenadi, you were calm and collected throughout this whole game compared to everybody else. How are you managing your stress during it all?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm just a rather chill person, and luckily it also works out on stage here, and it definitely helps for these high-pressure matches. I don't think we ever had so much pressure in any Trackmania tournament ever, especially now that it's also you get top 2 or you're knocked out. But yeah, I kept it cool. I played good. I had a few mistakes here and there, so it wasn't like my cleanest match ever, but I'm definitely very happy with how I played. Also happy that the finalist mode didn't beat me up in the end. So yeah, I'm very happy that I made it.
Very good to lock it in. That's Grenadi. Come on in, Shuffs. I mean, very well done for you. You still get second place out of this. It's very important to advance on to the semifinals. But there was a big fight all the way to the wire, down to the wire in it. How did you handle it and keep your cool through it all?
I think the start of my match was definitely rough. I didn't play the greatest, to be honest, but I just kept my cool, knew I could win the rounds with the pace that I had, and that's kind of what carried me until the end.
And it was a beautiful bit to witness. That is it then, Shuffs. You'll be crushing our second key here. You may join me, Grenadi, on the side. That is Richie's key. That'll all be for Stuffs to Nomad here with our crusher. I promise you next year we'll give her a beautiful name. For now, she's just munching. That's Richie, gone and eliminated. Stuffs with the second elimination. It set all for our first quarterfinal of the day. Grenadi and Stuffs advance to the semifinals.
Bittersweet is a good word to describe the moments we're feeling here as you see fans from elation to desolation, to despair, sometimes to the high energy of finding a route around. And for Stuffs and his community, they are looking to drive another day. And for Binks, just on the edge of a victory lap, unfortunately, we'll sit this one out for now. What an incredible moment, guys. Welcome you back, Randy, here on the desk. Turbo G Geek. That was tough to watch. You could see the emotion from Binks supporters, AGAL. The good news is they do have Gwen coming up in the next matchup, so they won't be moving far. But it comes a sad end to Binks' story, who's really a great player.
Definitely, but I mean, all things sometimes have to come to an end, and Stuffs, after a weak start, bounced back into the match. I mean, we have seen the pressure really getting to the players, also to Grenadi, who was really just throwing away that finalist round there on Japan, going into the wall. It was, as Grenadi would say, a PF ending. He just had to drive it to the finish.
Yeah, exactly. And just to give you a little bit of an insight of the map's progression, we were starting to see Binks and Grenadi kind of pull away. And on the first rotation of Japan, Stuffs completely flunked it, 19 points out of 14, somewhat salvaging it with a new world record, which would then beat on the second rotation. But where Stuffs' challenge really came alive was when we came to Saudi Arabia with back-to-back wins, and then went all the way to 32 points out of 40, compressing the gap to just 6 points between the top three.
And I mean, also Grenadi with really 4 out of 4 wins there. But Stuffs, he has to work on those weak starts. Really, it has been a pattern in his matches. And I think if he cannot keep that together, the semifinals coming out now, the top 8 players, I mean, he has also secured some points for Godlike. But if he wants to make it into the final, he has to get rid of those weak starts, because I think those maps really suited him well. And Grenadi also picking up the piece on Hungary. Also, he was shaky, you know. Poland was then really good for him again, but it was all really just all over the place at some point. Not really someone going straight through it and not struggling.
Yeah, little things going to get worked on. The benefit of today, unlike all the other Trackmania days, which is different than normal Trackmania esports events, is that they get to drive again and again and again. They get to build that momentum. So shaky starts, but hopefully something Stuffs can work on as he will face off in our semifinal, which will still be full of 8 players.
Yeah, it will still be a chock full of 8 players. And their opponents, if you take a look at the other half of the bracket, where there might be some of the opponents they will be facing against, this is going to be one heck of a stand to make. And as Kai said, the weak point, those very, very poor starts on his map picks, he definitely needs to iron those kinks out if he really wants to make a statement and stake his claim as the champion of Trackmania here at EWC 26.
Well, the benefit is that he did start on Japan. He picked Japan, and he was able to basically get into finalist mode and avoid Binks getting a lot of first places towards the end of Japan. And that set him up for a really great race. It was tight at the end. Binks obviously feeling a little emotion. See what he has to say.
Binks, that was tough to watch. DNF there at the end in Canada. What happened?
I just crashed. I knew I couldn't win anymore this round, so I DNF and watched the end of the round.
Were you just hoping Richie had something?
Yeah.
That's risky tactics.
Yeah, but it was I crashed, so I can't win the round anymore. So.
How difficult is it then when it's out of your hands like that and you're hoping someone else does something for you to sit and watch?
I don't know. I'm just praying, and that's it.
I know you came here hoping for so much more. Of course, you're leading the Elite Cup series. You know, we all kind of had you going through. What do you think you lacked, or was it just that one moment there?
I don't know. Maybe the stress is too much for me. I don't know. I'm not playing like I play in training. So I don't know.
You're not playing with that freedom that you've had. In terms of when you have a chance to reflect on the quarterfinalist, will you be happy with that? What will the feeling be?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay. Commiserations today. Sorry, Binks.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. Binks doing his best to kind of hold it together, praying at the end of that round that Stuff's made a mistake. He did not. And that's sometimes just the way the cookie crumbles. Coming up, we do have our schedule for our next matches. That will be featuring an AGAL driver also. So Epos, Bren, and Massa will be going head-to-head. G-Geek, this is one that many people think the winner could come from, especially Gwen.
Yeah, and this one is going to be one heck of a matchup if you look at the players, but also with one AGAL player already out, this outcome could decide the club championship early in today's day 4 proceedings.
You're right. If Gwen doesn't get through, I mean, I don't know if it's 100%, but it would almost be a mathematical certainty, Turbo, and you know about not doing math live, that AGL would not move through.
There's so many what ifs still into play, but Gwen looking very strong in this particular tournament. He really was setting the pace, but he has to play against players who really have to prove themselves. Massa and Bren. Massa, of course, miraculously still in the tournament because he won that round after the crash from Wizzy there, who could have been in this match, actually.
Right, you're right.
And then Bren also, he has to step it up. So I think both in the similar spot. And then, of course, Gwen and Epos will be the clear favorites to take that one home.
Yeah, we talk about AJL, we talk about Gwen, we talk about Bren, and obviously Massa, but there's another player there, Epos, who seems to keep getting better and better every Trackmania event that we see, the later it goes on. The Saudi super fans are behind him. And when we return, we'll get to our group stage number 2.
We're about ready to roll in Trackmania EWC 26. Just walking around the venue, and I bumped into a very, very heavy Team Liquid fan. How are you doing?
It's a very exciting moment for me, especially coming from Brazil and be here in the Esports World Cup. It's something that it's very fascinating. The structure, the whole production around it.
EWC is such a huge event, so if you don't know what game to see, you can buy one ticket for here, and you have a couple of teams to cheer for and a couple of games to watch. So you have many opportunities in EWC.
The fans of Team Liquid are actually insane. I think you guys don't notice how much it means to us players that you guys support us. So yeah, thank you to everyone. Thank you to friends, family, of course, Team Liquid fans. So yeah, thank you.
If you could grab the mic to say something to a Team Liquid player when they arrive on the stage for one of the games you follow, what would you say to them?
For the Otak from Trackmania, just do your best and you will win.
Bring the trophy to Team Liquid. We are cheering for all of you, for our passion. So bring this trophy. I want to.
All right, there's some requests coming in right there, and I hope those requests will be answered to them, of course, not only over the course of EWC 26, but of course in Trackmania at EWC 26, which continues this weekend.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but
Tyler 1, you're done.
Massa, what does it take mastering driving on ice? Look, I'll show you. You need to stay in the right gear. Don't brake too much and hold your speed. Stay in the right angle and go for it. Ah, true, the angle is really important. Okay, I think I know what to do now. Watch this.
We're gonna hope my man is okay after that. Turbo, you all right? You good, buddy? He's down on the stage. We've switched up the panel. Welcome back. I'm Rain Day. We've got Aaron Import Brooks with us here alongside G Geek for our second quarterfinal of our playoffs here at Trackmania at EWC. The last day that we have this action, and of course, we're going to have the Accor with Counter-Strike tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. But as far as the main venue in Paris, Aaron, welcome to the stage, man. How's the event been for you so far?
I mean, it's been fantastic. You know, just being here, being able to see all the crowds, being able to see the other arenas as well, and the fans and everything. Of course, we have the clubs competing for a championship and everything, and we may be part of that decision today. So just a lot of cool things going on around the atmosphere here, and then to come back to Trackmania. I was doing an interview somewhere else in the arena or in the venue, and then I came back over here, and all of a sudden I start hearing cheers from Trackmania, and I start seeing the crowd fill up.
Hey, man.
After several days, you know, we finally start having to expand the seating because it's like, okay, everybody's here now because everybody wants to see what's happening. I just can't wait.
I can't wait either. Neither can the fans behind us. It's electric. So let's get into our quarterfinal number 2 here on the stage. You talked about AGAL and the club championship race. Well, here it is again. Maybe the most important moment for AGAL. I know every single person in leadership is watching this one because if Gwen goes out somehow, and there's a lot of somehows there, Epos, Sprint, and Massa only 2 spots out of the 4, then that would almost assuredly mean that the club championship goes the way of Falcons. But a lot to be decided still.
Yeah, Gwen looking really scary over the last 2 days in a good way. Super good performances, super dominant against his opponents. Epos, on the other hand, despite winning very shakily, very shaky performance. He knows better. He's already admitted it, but he has the confidence that he can go all the way. Looking at Bren, chinks in the armor, still the same thing. Not really having the performance he would like to have, but he can shore it up today if he wants to, if he so chooses and is able to be consistent. And then finally, Massa, the heartbreaking win. He was happy to win, of course, but he was also heartbroken because of Wizzy and that entire scenario. But he knows he has to focus on today, focus on himself, and improve.
If you saw that one, it was basically Wizzy having the win, but crashing and allowing Masa. It ended up being somebody else who won the round, but again, giving Masa the space to, in another round after that, take the win. Wizzy devastated. A lot of people felt the emotion of that. Masa felt a little bit of the regret of being in that moment. But somebody else who was just driven fantastically, who I think is the main story here for many different reasons, is Gwen. Rachel, what's going on with him heading into this quarterfinal that means so much?
Gwen, pretty solid so far, a first and a second over the 2 days. How do you feel coming into this finals day?
I feel great, but very stressed. Like everything in one day for the finals is a lot. We played one match per day since today, so yeah, it will be hard to keep the pressure and to continue winning the matches.
What did you do yesterday then? Did you try and make it feel like you were still playing and still in that competitive mode?
Yeah, I think I was still playing, and I don't even know what I did, but it was like I am focusing on the match and like stay in the zone, you know.
How are you trying to deal with the stress that you're feeling with now?
It's very hard to deal with it. Like maybe breathing is the best way to do in matches. Like take the control of the breath and then just think about playing and winning.
Is this something someone has been teaching you? You've been working on this behind the scenes?
Yeah, not someone, but I think with the experience, like I played the game since like 10 years and 5 years of competing. So yeah, with all the stages and everything, I know what to do to keep to stay like good in the matches and try to deal with the pressure.
You do have so much experience. How are you going to use that experience today?
I don't know. I will try to beat the pressure, you know. So yeah. I think I will just do my best and like play.
What do you think your strengths have been so far, which you can use today?
I think I have the pace. I'm a lot of time I'm in first place in the matches. So I think it is the strength that I have to use. And yeah, I will try.
In terms of maps, is there one that you don't want to contest on in the quarterfinals, especially?
Like Norway, I will ban it anyways. I don't want to play it, so yeah.
Okay, well, good luck today, Gwen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Gwen feeling a bit confident, and I don't know who's behind me. We got some fans going on as well. If you are a fan of one of the players you just saw, make sure to get your pick'ems in for EWC. Scan that QR code on your phone, your tablet, and get involved. Earn your share of up to $300,000 in prizing, and obviously claim the victory and bragging rights to go along with it. Okay, let's get off this one. You see these guys here in the Y. G-Geek, what's your thoughts after hearing Gwen and setting this match up?
Well, I'm really looking forward to see how he performs. And one thing to note we couldn't get to it during the presentations is that he had a little bit of a 2-day tournament that was a very different vibe. Day one, he played really well, but he was upstaged by an absolutely stellar Pustito Paco, the man from Virtus Pro, really kind of throwing a spanner in the works in a sense by demoting Gwen to C2. But then day two, he was back to his usual winning ways, the aliens we like to call it. It was back in town, and honestly, if he's able to keep that dominant form and able to completely maintain P1 on the chokehold and the 10-pointers, this is going to be one scary man to watch go through the ranks.
G-Geek, there was a little bit of like a hat on a sign behind you. You mentioned the idea of a scarecrow. Is there a scarecrow in this match, or is everybody grabbing points?
I'm thinking Gwen could definitely endorse the role of the scarecrow.
Okay.
Epos could also try to make it a bit more of a two-horse race. See, the first match complexion has been so complex to decipher that really, Aaron, it's kind of anybody's game.
Honestly, it is anybody's game. You know, Bren and Masa, they have been struggling, they have been inconsistent, but that doesn't mean necessarily that's what's going to be the case today. Each day is a full reset for each of these players. Epos, he's been having struggle. He has really good practice, but then he can't translate it onto stage. Is he going to be able to actually now translate it on the stage when it matters most? Because now it's only one life. That's it. There's no second chances anymore.
One player playing clearly the best here. That's Gwen Gwen coming in. 3 players have a lot to prove, but only 2 spots here as we send it over to your stage to begin our second quarterfinal here in Trackmania.
Our second quarterfinal is almost underway, but our first one was explosive in its own right. As 2 players, Granati and Stuffs, advancing. Our first 2 semifinalists locked into their spots, but Adam,
oh my goodness,
that club championship,
it's wide open right now, wide open. Obviously, in our last match of our last quarterfinal, one of the top clubs, AGAL, right now in the club championship, lost one of their players. However, there are still 1 more left and a Falcons player left in this contest too. So everything is still to play for right now. Paris, let me ask you, are you ready to meet the next racers? They're absolutely buzzing, and we are too. Let's meet them. Let's meet our next quarterfinalists. Would you please welcome onto the stage, give it up for your racers, Gwen, Bren, Massa, and Ebos!
A second matchup and a massive game in its own right. AGAL and Team Falcons fighting for every single point, and it's all pressure on Gwen. We've seen what happens when pressure gets to these players in moments like this. It's part of the competition, the bittersweetness of it all, but with a crowd roaring behind you, only one thing is on your mind: victory. So Paris, one more time, are you ready?
Paris is ready at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles, our final day of EWC here in this building and our final day of Trackmania and Import. What a way to send us off.
I feel bad for anybody who's not an AGAL fan. It's going to be very loud from them during these matches. The players are going to feel it. They're going to feel the vibrations on their seat anytime these fans cheering for Gwen. So I'm excited to see how this match turns out when we start getting into the pick and the bans. But Gigi, I believe you have some stats that are coming into this.
I think there might be a couple of bans that might be make or break here. We do see some of the most likely bans: Hungary, South Korea, as well as Australia, Germany, and Norway. Japan being a ban. That's the first time that we've seen it banned in a while, actually. Australia, default ban. Germany being banned by EPOS. Norway, we're kind of sticking with default bans, it seems like, with Norway and Australia again, and South Korea being the first pick for Gwen, which will be a very, very solid one. 3 out of 5 round wins over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, Poland also being somewhat of an unsurprising pick from Epos here, as he's been feeling pretty consistent on it, feels pretty good, and also it's not necessarily the trickiest map per se, it's more solid on that regard, but we see Saudi Arabia, Argentina, and Canada as the decider for our map pack for this awesome match.
Pretty much conform to the predictions that we had in terms of the likely picks. Now, Saudi Arabia, I am expecting to see fireworks on the pick from Brand, because Gwen and Ipos so far this week have been very evenly matched up over the course of the games that they've played here on this weekend of competition.
Well, fireworks, we've seen it in Paris since we've been here at EWC a month ago or so. They lit up the sky. We'll see if they light up the stage here as we send it over to your casters for our second quarterfinal. It's none other than Onset and Bravo.
Thank you so much. Right, here we go then, folks. The action continues. No time to breathe for all of our competitors here in Paris. We are into our second quarterfinal of the day. 2 drivers will keep their tournaments alive, and unfortunately for the other 2, they're going to have to watch from the stands.
I'll tell you what, on Super Saturday, it is a packed house here at the Trackmania stage, and for very good reason. You heard the desk talking about all of the reasons you might want to be around this stage on a day like today. There's so much riding on not just this World Championship, but of course the Club Championship as well. It's Massa, Bren, Epos, and Gwen here. We're starting things off on South Korea.
South Korea is where we begin the journey for all 4 of these drivers. And one man I don't think was mentioned quite enough at the top of the show, Epos. What a run he has had so far, and certainly a dark horse coming into the tournament for someone who might be thinking about lifting that trophy come the end of today.
That's right, the dark horse, the threat to the throne here. If you ask players about which driver might be the one that sneaks into that S tier, that maybe steals away this World Championship from the favorites, there's a very good chance it could be Epos.
Well, Massa out to an early lead here. As we jump onto the grass bank before the first transition, and a little bit of a jump as everyone holds onto the gear. Through the chicane we go. Now let's talk about Gwen and Brett. Not only a commentator's nightmare, but along the shoulders, of course, of the AGG man as well. Here we've seen the fans in the crowd. They are behind the AGG players. For Gwen, added pressure, or maybe the boost of the crowd.
It's a good line, tiny bit wide there. We'll see how fast he can get wheels down. Epos manages to maintain for just a second here until our last turnaround here.
Epos in the lead on the last turnaround, but I tell you what, Gwen's got some pretty good speed as well, but it will be Epos who starts his day off with 10 points secured. Gwen in behind him in second, Massa and Bren bringing up the rear.
Everyone clean here on South Korea through the beginning, and as you were saying, I mean, you just heard it in the pre-game interview with Rachel. Gwen saying how much stress he's under, just being very open about it, how he needs to control his breath, saying, I played this game for 10 years. I know what to do. And you know, it's wild to think about how young Gwen is. He's probably one of the youngest players that you would consider still a veteran because of how long he's been doing this. You heard already 5 years of competition as well. The man knows what he needs to do here today.
One man who knows what the level is going to be is Massa. He was involved in that incredible Carl Jr. Neon story.
Yes, he was.
That took place a day or so ago, where those two just seemed to be untouchable. And unfortunately for him, it meant that he fell down to that elimination bracket, but has fought his way back to be in this position today. And having learned from those experiences in round number 2, here he's leading the way.
Speaking of maybe falling back, take a look at these checkpoint times all the way back on a .376. Epos in the back of the pack. He will need to try to make up that time here.
Not much between them though, and with the identity coming up very, very soon, and this little section here as we see the engine switching off and it's just drift out early and have to just navigate those brakes. That's where time is made and lost as we now do head into the first turnaround on the identity here. Gwen manages to steal away first place from Massa and seems to have some pretty good speed going into this final turnaround.
He does. The line looks perfect as well. Let's see if he can close. There's one out. No, it's a bit of a wobble and a bit of a correction. And as a result, it is a snipe from Massa off of the adjustment and correction from Gwen. It's a big moment early to get that +10 for Massa.
That was a quick time as well. Not too far away from some of the records we've been seen be set here on South Korea. No surprise to see Neon in the top left-hand corner. There's going to be a lot of that if you've been following the competition so far. However, into the next round, and what a big momentum boost that is for Massa as well.
Yeah, great times from that last lap. It's a really good catch by you, Mark. I want to call those really quick. Massa on a 1:12.304, Gwen on a 1:12.335 on that one.
It's going to be Gwen who takes the lead momentarily here, but one thing I am noticing, barely a mistake from any drivers at the moment. Everybody very, very clean as we go through the checkpoint. Look at the separation. Only 0.3 of a second separating Massa in front and Brent at the back of the pack.
Yeah, big moments here for Massa indeed. Now to be tied on first with Epos, of course, is where he wants to be. We should talk about Massa, the German underdog in this race. Maybe the least talked about coming in just because of the talent that you have in this lobby, but he's out in front and he wants to remind everyone just what he is capable of.
So his teammate Granati go through in the previous quarterfinal as well. So the big boys, they both want to qualify. They both want to be in a lobby, ideally in that grand final where they can fight it out, see who the better man will be. But Massa with a strong lead here on the turnaround. Wow. Very close to that barrier, which has been a little bit of an opportunity. But Massa just about holds on here with another very, very quick time here. About 200ths of a second away from that world record time. He will take the 10 points.
Like you said, really pushing the times here. No, that big +10 now puts Massa all of a sudden on our first map, by the way, in first place after 3 rounds around South Korea. We'll see if he can repeat here and maybe bring an even bigger lead into our next map.
A little bit quiet from Brent here on South Korea as we head into the final round before we do change things up a little bit. And this, of course, was a Gwen pick. So down in third place with the pick being your own. Will want to come away with 10 points in this final round here, just to make him feel like that decision was the right one.
You talk about Gwen, you and I got a chance to ask Pac, you know, what makes this kid so special? And I think Pac said he is elite at everything. Expect him to be so good through the entire map set. Maybe the exception you heard him talk about, except for maybe Norway, as that was, he guaranteed he would ban it. He did ban it. He was a man of his word here, but right now he's in the back. It's Massa, Epos, and Bren in your first 3.
It was a little bit of a nervy moment for him, though, as Norway wasn't banned until it came to him as that last ban. He was probably thinking, really? I'm going to have to play Norway? However, Massa out in front here with Epos. He's trying to cut that inside line here as we go into the identity. We've seen a couple of wobbly moments from all of the drivers. Epos really trying to push for these 10 points here, but Massa is holding off the challenge.
Yeah, really nice lines there from both of them. But as you said, Massa looks up to the task, and he will finish it out as well. What a set of rounds here on South Korea from Massa. And even though on that first lap around the map, He may have not been the quickest. Let's not forget he placed third in the first one. It is back-to-back-to-back wins with fantastic times in the low 112s from Massa to now have a pretty commanding lead early on in the lobby.
Yeah, not as many eyes on him maybe as the other drivers in the lobby. Well, no pressure on your shoulders. Nobody's talking about you. Let me just go out and run my race. And boy, did he run South Korea. Now we change things up, though, as we head over to Poland. A little bit of a different set of obstacles towards the end for our players. And the one thing I love about this identity at the end, you are seeing time being made up by how aggressive players want to be on how quickly they're trying to take that identity.
I agree. It's one of the few identities coming in that if you have the proper line, the proper gearing, you can, as you say, absolutely outplace your opponents, not only from that first jump, but on the cuts that you make on the big platforms on the asphalt as well. There's a lot that can be done on this map. We have seen it as the decider often throughout this tournament, but to have it as map 2 might create an opportunity for a few things to happen. 1, does the Massa gap increase? 2, do Bren and Gwen start to get back into the points race? Anything can happen here on map number 2. We're underway.
And again, take yourselves back to what we just saw from these 4 drivers on South Korea. Barely a mistake.
Yeah.
Barely a mistake from anyone. A couple of wobbles on the identities, but no real big crashes that I can remember from the POVs that we had in front of us. And when you're going through checkpoints right now and you're seeing players barely separated once again, I mean, look at those times in the top left. It is wheel to wheel on the front 3, and Brennan is only nestled in behind by about 0.2 of a second.
Up to the back of the pack.
There's the crash.
We claim some victims for at least Bressa. You can tell by the times alone, we'll see just how much they will drop back by. But for now, it's Gwen all the way out in front, and boy, does he need this now.
Here is the identity then, that jumps onto the platform.
He's wide, he's wide.
Sends it wide with no pressure on him. That is a difficult moment to watch as Epos gladly takes the identity nice and carefully, and the 10 points as well. A tough watch in those final moments there.
All drivers will get across. There will be finally Gwen coming across with a plus 6.64. But okay, this is what I mean about Poland being second. This really is noteworthy here because we're so used to seeing it as the decider where you have very different stakes coming into Poland. But now it's just who wants it more, who's going to be consistent. And you talk about Gwen just going wide left on an area where you really wouldn't expect it from him. He will need to clean that up here.
Yeah, had the gap. Didn't really need to be as aggressive as he was looking to be in that final moment, and maybe that is the hangover of it being in those deciders. Everybody thinks that they're going to have to hit that identity with incredible speed, pace, and precision to hold off any challenges that will come their way. It's Brent in the back of the pack here, as you can see. Gwen out in the lead once more. Now, if he can hold it this time around, let's see how he approaches the identity. First jump coming up.
This first jump, let's not forget, Epos and Massa struggling on it last time. This time, everyone's a lot cleaner through. Gwen has wheels down very early. Everyone back onto 4th here through the lily pads. And right now, everyone looking much better than our first round.
Everybody within about 1.5 of a second. So close between the players at the moment. Gwen going to be the first into the first jump. Epos with some good speed on the exit though, but Gwen going to slide a little bit wider here, which will give him a bit more speed. And Epos has to hold on here, and the challenge is coming, but everybody coming through in the top 3 clean. Bren made a little bit of a mistake in those final moments, and it will mean that 10 points will be on the board here for Gwen.
You see a very important nod of the head from Gwen. As soon as that ended, just nods his head once, just kind of reaffirming to himself, yes, I have done the work. I know exactly what I need to do on this track. And honestly, Mark, it was deja vu. It was Gwen out in front, Epos behind. And Gwen even, keep in mind, he's sending the car on that last plank into the identity. He is getting as much as he can out of that left side as the tires are grabbing. And he pushes it again. This time he doesn't catch. So I like that he just didn't kind of bring everything down speed-wise. He just perfected the line. He cleans it up. It's an important win for him.
Yeah, I think he has to. I think that's going to be something that you have to do on this track. I mean, if he would have gone for a safer line there, with how close the pack was, probably loses a few points and loses that P1 of the 10 points that come alongside it. This time it's going to be Epos who goes into the dirt slalom here before this first jump, who will have a very slender lead. Everybody coming through clean by the looks of things as we jump into the lily pads. But look how close everybody is up until this point.
Incredible drone work and incredible driving up front, without a doubt. Massa wants to close in on this. He doesn't just want to give it to Epos here. Same exact line, same exact approach on the identity.
Really good speed on the exit there from Massa that gives him the advantage over Epos. Now it's about sticking the landing. Massa will be able to just about get inside that flagpole, will take home the 10 points, and now sits at the top of the leaderboards, feeling very, very comfortable. Epos in behind him will take the 6. Brennan Gwen once again at the back.
I'm also there taking a look at that exact time that we just saw him register as well. It's a 108.968. Should also mention that. Also world record 108.820 as well coming in. Now we'll go back in, and we know Massa's running a fast time here. It came in important points. We should mention the context here of the points, and really, you look at a driver like Brent, needs to find something special now because the lobby is certainly starting to slip away from him just a bit.
Well, there will be Brent's pick in Saudi Arabia up next as we're into our final round of Poland. Maybe that's a little bit of comfort in the back of the mind for him. And Gwen out in the lead with Epos right in behind him. But Gwen is going to crash out. And Epos now goes into the lead. Massa into the first jump just behind him. And with better speed, looks like he might be able to take advantage. But the over-aggression gives Epos now a clear run. But Bren, he's managed to slide through as well, and the mistakes are starting to flow.
It's a tragic time as well. Resetting from there gets a very tricky, needing to get fourth gear back again. We'll touch a base on that later because he's way in the back here. It's Brent out in front.
And Brent needs this. I mean, behind on points, behind in the leaderboards. 10 points here will go very, very nicely for him to close out Poland. 10 points for Brent. Massa will take the 6. Gwen and Epos will close things out, but all the mistakes that have been impossible to find up until that point come to the fore in one round here as we close out Poland and take our attention towards Saudi Arabia.
It's good that the break in between maps gives us 1 second to breathe because you feel like you need it after 8 rounds there. What a start to everything. We can check in on the points table, and it is Massa out in front with 58. I don't think anyone after 2 or 3 laps around South Korea, by the way, would have thought be here right now as Massa puts together, not keep in mind first and a second on Poland. That puts him in first place right now, not too far behind within 1 race. It's Epos on 51, Gwen at 39, and most importantly, Brent has made it all the way to 36, which keeps him certainly part of the conversation.
As the pressure ramps up and the points become premium here, we head over to Saudi Arabia, and that tiny gap jump at the end, let me tell you, I was kind of like jokingly say, as the pressure goes up, as the rounds go on, the days go on, it feels like that gap is getting smaller and smaller. And Andy, we'll have to see if it's where it was at the start of the tournament or if it has got slightly smaller for these drivers when we approach it at the end.
It certainly has had that impact, without a doubt, that it's been more and more difficult for these as the pressure has gone on. First jump is very clean for all of them. Only about a car length or 2 in between the whole pack as they come through the transfer and they come through clean. Here they come onto the ice.
Ever so slight correction just to line things up here for Epos, keeping our eyes on the air brake. Little tap from Epos as he'll be at the back of the pack right now as we start to accelerate and slide through these island jumps. Epos with a very aggressive line once again as we tie it tight. We do see one player go for that outside line. It's going to be Massa with the big line once again, but look how tight the pack is here as we go into this right-hander before the left for the tiny gap jump.
Can Epos make up the time here right now? Brent out in front, but everyone really wheel to wheel here. We'll see if everyone makes it through. They do. Gwen going to be out in front though. What a transition here from Gwen. He's going to take first place.
I mean, it's a beautiful drive from everyone. Barely a mistake to look at. Differences in lines, yes, after those island jumps, but when you're looking at 3/10 of a second separating the 4 drivers here, that's the level we're at right now. That's how good you're going to have to be to secure those 10 points.
The win for Gwen on a 107.662. Keep in mind that's only about 0.2 or so off of the Paco record that you do see on your screen. On the bottom of the table, though, it's Bren with another 4th place. The man on your screen needs to put together some very good rounds starting now.
First jump coming up. Everybody catching nothing but net as we now transfer towards that ice. The icy roads, which the setup is key for. And it's going to be Gwen this time at the back of the pack. Epos out in front. The consistency we've seen so far from Epos, such a key to what makes him successful, and he's right up there again.
Epos was catching up at this point. This time he's way out in front. We'll see if he can maintain these good lines here. And here comes the Massa line just flying in just out of camera. Epos now through the rocks, Bren through the rocks. Everyone going to hit this right-hander as fast as you can. And it's Epos maintaining first place into the identity.
Everybody made it clean last time around. Epos looking good.
Oh,
Bren will crash out. Does not make the tiny gap, and EPOS will have a clean run through. Look at the speed as well. It's a PB for EPOS, but not too far off of that Paco world record.
Not too far at all. It's a 4.88 that is coming in there for EPOS, and you start to wonder, Mark, it feels like when we saw EPOS in other rounds earlier in the tournament, about halfway through, and guess what? Look at the points table. We are exactly halfway through, is when he started to heat up. If EPOS starts to find consistency, that's when he becomes the most dangerous. He might be doing that now. It's Massa on 70, EPOS only 5 behind on 65.
Massa halfway to finalist mode. 140 is the aim of the game for all of these drivers right now. As once again, no mistakes whatsoever being made on that first hoop jump. Everybody coming through these sections so clean. I think we've got hit every time, Andrew, and it's felt like at a maximum, it's been like 3/10 between the 4 drivers.
Yeah, absolutely here. Little bit of a tap of an air brake for some drivers, and like you said, really close here. It's Brent out in the lead yet again. EPOS this time way in the back. We'll see if he can maintain in the front, Brent.
I mean, it's a 10th of a second between the 4 drivers here, and the difference is in line. We'll have to see if it makes a difference for Massa. Momentarily sneaks in, but then has to nestle into the position he was previously, which is 3rd, in behind the drivers. Now drop down to 4th as we approach the tiny gap jump. Gwen has the lead. EPOS on the left-hand side, slightly different line. Massa will not make it. Gwen will get the 10 points. EPOS in behind it with the 6.
Running a once again, very fast, 0.668 as well. Each of the times that we've been around Saudi Arabia, it has been a very quick lap, not just from the front, but also from the drivers that have closely followed as well. It's a very important result there because that shrinks the gap at the top by quite a margin. EPOS now on 71. Only trails Massa by 2. Importantly, Gwen is on 63, continuing to make sure that he stays with the points race.
They're keeping everybody honest at the moment. But you can say that about every single driver in the lobby. We've mentioned mistakes, there's barely been one. Couple of misses on the jump at the end, but up until that point, everybody has been essentially sharing the same lines and oxygen with how close they have been together. Once again, barely anything separating the drivers up until this point. Gwen at the back for now. Might have made a little bit of a mistake there, but as we go through the checkpoints, it's going to be Massa, Brent, and EPOS. 3/10 separating the 3.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap through the islands here. This is one of the bigger gaps that we've seen into this section. You get a first-person view of Massa's a little bit reckless line there as you see him get to take that. And now it's going to be a very similar layout. It's EPOS out in front. And now Massa and Brent trying to fight for that second spot.
Really big for Brent here. If he can make this jump and a mistake comes in from EPOS, then he'll be able to take it away. But instead, it's going to be the exact opposite of what he would have wanted in that situation. Luckily for him, Gwen's not going to finish by the looks of things, and it will be EPOS who comes away with some points, and a little wry smile coming in from the AGG man there. He knows that might have been a little bit of a missed opportunity for him.
Yeah, confirmed it. I think everyone could have guessed it from the timer there, but Gwen, and maybe even the smile as well. Gwen will DNF in the end there, so he will not get the points on the board, and that keeps things very interesting. It will be EPOS on 81, essentially tied with Massa at 79, and Gwen at 63. So very much a part of the race. Bren, we have to say, through all of Saudi Arabia, continued to drop down. Bren did not place within the top 2 across all of Saudi Arabia. And now the last 7 rounds, we have not seen Bren in the top 2, and has it ever cost him? He's all the way down on 50 points while EPOS is already on 81.
Yeah, he's going to have to start thinking about first places if he wants to close that gap on the pack that is just slowly and painfully, from his point of view, just extending away from where he finds himself right now. But maybe Argentina will present some opportunities for him to claw some of those points back. And starting at the front of the pack is going to be a good way for him to start doing that. EPOS this time is going to have to nestle in behind everybody, and for the first time in quite some time does not find himself in the front 2, as we will find a little jump up here for the no steer into the turnaround. Now this will be where we'll find time made up and lost so many times, as Massa just about avoids missing that checkpoint, but it's pretty good. But look at Bren. Bren's out in front right now. A huge opportunity for him.
Out in front, Gwen went way deep. Massa with a lot of contact. We'll see if he can make it up on the ice. Bren looks good. It's a similar line, but Massa, he does. He comes flying through. And right now, very, very close here for just about all 4 drivers into the bobsleigh.
Massa's carrying more speed by the looks of things as well. So if he can line this one up and keep his nose in front of second place, then he will take those 6 points. But most importantly here for the pack and for Bren, it's 10 much needed points for him. He might be back in contention with a couple more rounds like that on Argentina.
He's going to be really proud of that. And to be honest, you even heard the hometown crowd, of course, erupting as well, just wanting to see what he might be able to do. Of course, supporting their French compatriot, even though he flew a long way here. Of course, still a lot of people in the building cheering him on as well.
He was flying into the fragile right-hander. Everybody gets wheels down. Massa this time will be out in the lead. Only 1 point separating the 2 players who currently lead in those points, 85 and 84 respectively for Massa and Epos, as we go through the checkpoint now and into the second one for the right-hander before we get towards this bobsleigh. Gwen in the lead for now. And Massa trying to make that time up. He cut it so close last time around, and he's done exactly the same again. Oh, Gwen goes a little bit high. He's rocking and he's rolling, but he's just about managed to hold control of the car. Massa maybe too focused on what's going on in front of him.
And it's Bren who's through first, but everyone's setting it, just trying to get as much as they can out of the car and just sending it a bit too hard. This time it's Bren with the most control. Car will snap back on the dirt into the bobsleigh.
Oh, just carnage in front of Bren. He let it happen. He gleefully watches 2 players crash out in front of him, and it will be back-to-back here for the man who needed it most. It's 10 followed by 10 for Bren.
The man who needed it indeed, as we said, in 7 straight rounds. As Epos will not finish either, will get the DNF. In 7 straight rounds, Bren had not placed within the top 2. Now take a look at the scoreboard. He only trails Gwen by 1, and all of a sudden, anything can happen here.
And he's out into the lead once more, and boy, let me tell you, the confidence will be sky high for him. First jump into the red boost. And it's Bren out in front. And for Massa and Epos, it's not been the best of Argentina's. If first and second place stays like this, and it's Bren and Gwen, well, boy, does that make things very interesting when it comes to the standings.
Bren needs no invitation, and he's taken that and all of the momentum here. And it's a deep run from Bren, pretty deep, so that's going to give Bren even more of a time pad here.
Gwen's trying to push his luck, I feel like, on that turnaround. Massa just going to clip on the exit here. That's going to send him down to the back of the pack, but it's Bren again with a clear run towards the final bobsleigh here. Gwen in behind him in second place. But that gap of 7/10 could be enough here for Bren to look for the hat-trick of wins. It will be 3 in a row if he can thread the needle. 30 points out of 30 on Argentina here for Bren.
Runs a 1:12.355, getting close to that Gwen record you see, but the record between the 2 is not important right now. What's important is who is in first place, and just like that, it is Bren going back to back to back to change this story entirely.
Look at that live ranking on the left-hand side. Massa 94, Epos 88. Bren now on 80 and Gwen on 77. It is anyone's race at this point.
This is unbelievable. Bren was just on 50. You'll remember he was just at the back of the pack and maybe about to become an afterthought in this round. Instead, he has become anything but. He will move out of 4th place and not just into 3rd, but now threatening 2nd as well.
Muscle's fallen right to the back of the pack by 0.6 of a second, over half a second away from the front 3 for now, and it's Gwen and Bren. And we've seen that Gwen has struggled on this turnaround, and once again he's wrestling with the bobsleigh. And Bren has the speed on the exit, trying to chase them down here. Epos and Gwen under pressure.
Everyone make sure to be very clean there. Into the dirt. Going to be, looks like probably pretty similar low lines. Yes, but Epos's lines are going to be a little bit faster, maybe, yes.
Look at Bren. Challenges Epos and has speed going into the bobsleigh. He's trying to send it, trying to get that momentum off of the sidewalls here, but it's Gwen who's in the lead. Epos battling with Bren for second place. Epos will take the second. Wow. Bren won't be able to go clean. Win on Argentina. But if you'd asked him after the first round, will you take those points on Argentina? He would have bitten your hand off for them.
He absolutely would have. And by the way, just to paint how close that was in the end, it was a 1:12.600 from Gwen, a 1:12.657 from Epos, and just behind, as you saw, a 1:12.692 from Brent. So Brent essentially running almost just as fast as he was. However, Gwen and Epos found the speed that they needed in the end as well. And what a treat Argentina just gave us, because if you simply wanted this to be a close race and you didn't want it to be over yet, I tell you what, that you're speaking our language as well. That is exactly what we just got out of that map. It's going to be Epos on 94 now. 3 behind Massa, who is still in the lead on 97, and this is absolutely beautiful setup. Gwen is on 87, Brent is on 84. Anywhere, anything can happen from here, without a doubt.
Well, let's see what happens on Canada. Round 1 is underway here, and every single driver is very much still in contention here. Canada, the name of the game, speed and precision, and I think at this stage of the tournament as well, we'll feel it's pretty right to throw bravery in there as well.
It really is, and that identity, you're going to have to be brave. You're going to have to cut the identity as, oh, Gwen already taps early on the uphill sausage road. I tell you what, his claimed victims through qualifying in the months leading up, and even here at the Esports World Cup, and he will have to watch from the back and try to make up time. It's Epos in the lead into the dirt.
Massa and Brent, second and third respectively.
Oh my,
lose Brent, he's out of there. He's dropping down after a little bit of a tap, and it leaves a 2-car race at the front here. Epos and Massa, with Epos with a very, very good-looking gap between him and second place as we turn left before the final turnaround for the identity.
Let's see how they both wrap this. It's actually a pretty safe wrap for both of them. They know the gap that they have. This should be a clean finish. Epos certainly has enough speed to close it out. It will be Massa in second. Will be coming across Brent shortly thereafter. And I tell you what, Epos and Massa, I like the way they took that final turn in this scenario on this type of stage with this type of prize pool. The biggest, of course, in the history of the game. There's no need to run that identity as tight as you can. We will see that. Don't worry, that is still to come. But in that exact scenario, that was the right call. That puts Epos on 104, Massa on 103.
10 points here on Canada. It's just absolute gold dust. As you see the rankings on the left-hand side once again changing after just one round. Through the sausage slalom. It's Epos this time, who's having to nestle in behind Brent and Gwen. Speed from Brent through this, but a little bit too much. Just a little bit too much. Catches that wall, cannot correct. And Brent, after a brilliant, brilliant Argentina, has struggled as we've changed over to Canada.
You can really tell Brent sending it there. It's very rare that you actually have a slalom tap. Usually it's just you lose the speed and you might get overtaken. Instead, he taps. He's trying to once again send it. So now it's just Gwen and Epos into the identity.
Good turnaround by the looks of things coming in from Gwen as well. A big gap means he can play it safe. Another comfortable result here for Epos, who is just consistently adding 6, 6, 6, whatever it might be when it comes to the points. Very rarely are we finding him outside of the top 2. Brent will close in and at least manages to get that 3 points on the board. But a big result there. I mean, look how close it is. Yeah. It's a race. Brent wins, it's a race.
It's a very, very important result there, specifically for Gwen and Brent. As you see, Massa on 107, Gwen on 101, and Brent stays at 90 here. So Brent really needs to make sure he is continuing to keep up with the pack.
Through the sausage slalom, this is where we have seen players just clipping on that outside wall numerous times as they wrestle with the speed and the undulations of that road.
Here we go.
This time, Brent is going to come through clean, and Brent takes the lead as we jump into the dirt slalom now. Massa in behind him. It's actually Gwen and Brent battling at the front here, and Gwen with some really nice lines through the dirt there, takes himself into the lead.
Yeah, Gwen was such a great exit into the dirt, and he will presumably maintain this all the way into this tap into 5th gear as we get ready for the identity. Now it's a bit closer. Who tries to run this tight? They all do. Very clean lines from all three.
So close. But who has the speed on the exit? Gwen should be able to hold off the challenge. Brent will be in second, and Massa will take third. This time it's Epos who has to take 4th place away.
I tell you what.
Again, it just feels like every race it gets closer and closer.
Look at the leaderboard right now. The producers in the back, the scriptwriters are working overtime. You have Epos on 113, Gwen and Massa tied at 111, and Brent down at 96. Unreal.
Nelson for Massa and Gwen. Will it be good luck or bad luck? As Gwen will go into the lead here through the sausage slalom. Epos at the back of the pack once more. We'll have to see if he can put that previous round out the back of his mind Knowing that
running it so close.
Mistakes will hurt you at this point. He clips and is now half a second behind.
Yep, tried to run it real fast there. He is going to be behind now, which will make things even more interesting as he is your points leader. And now it's the other three that will battle for first.
Points leader by 2. But if these three keep him at the back of the pack, we are going to have a new leader. Gwen, wheel to wheel.
Brent hits.
Massa, Brent hits. That's going to get him out of it as well. But it's Gwen who has just. But no, look at the slingshot from Massa. 10 points for the German. A shrug of the shoulders from him. And in the final turnaround, slings himself over the line to get those so valuable 10 points.
I think a lot of people were thinking it felt like we had lost Bren at a very rare spot into that 5th gear spot right before the final turnaround. And it turns out we did, as he will make full contact in the end. And on that last one, it's going to be Massa, as you say, with a 102.452 ahead of Gwen. Epos also not nailing that turnaround, and he will be in 4th. So that will make the points, unsurprisingly.
It's so close.
Not only interesting, but it is officially after that round specifically, Massa will overtake not only Epos, but Gwen as well. Massa on 121, Gwen on 117, Epos on 116, and Bren within 2 races. And let's not forget, the last time we said Bren was down by a few rounds, he put on a show. This is still anyone's race here. We cannot make any assumptions about how this one might end.
As we go back around to South Korea. Now, Epos, very, very good results last time around on South Korea. But now with everybody warmed up and everybody finding wins, finding points, is this going to be the same result? Goodbye, Bren. An early crash for him.
Let's not forget, Massa went 3 for 4 on South Korea. It's a very, very important thing to remember here, as he had such an incredible and dominant set on our first few maps of the day in this group.
Gwen and Massa out in front for now. Massa with the points lead in the lobby as well. Holds onto that gear as now we will approach the grass bank. Now this is the area where time can be made up just before the identity. The engines will go off as the players will drift through to the left here, tap those brakes. Massa being aggressive, but Gwen holding him off, but Gwen goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, Gwen goes wide. That's a signature line from Gwen, though. He likes that wide setup there, and now Massa's going to get wheels down first.
Look at Massa, he has so much more speed. And the German, moments away from securing 10 more points. And if he does that again in the next round, he will hit finalists. Closing out will be Brent. Looking to avoid the DNF, does get over the line.
That is 4 straight wins for Massa on South Korea. You talk about preparation, you talk about lines, you talk about time invested in the biggest tournament in this game's multi-decade history. It is paying off for him. That's 4 wins straight on South Korea.
And another one here would put him on finalist mode. It would be an incredible, incredible result. The only player in the lobby who could do it with a win here. Massa fighting with Gwen at the front once more. Brent with the DNF. He's out of the race. Not sure what happened there. He's not feeling like the points but worth fighting for at this point. But this battle at the front is huge in the context of qualification, and Epos is not far away as well. Look how close these three are.
Keep in mind in the back right now, they want to deny finalist mode, of course, and they want to deny all those points, make Massa work even harder for it.
Engines off. Final turn before the identity here. Gwen goes wide again. Massa with a more traditional line alongside Epos. Gwen really trying to push it here, and Gwen will go and hold off the challenge. Epos trying to push it as well. All three drivers focus on it, but it's a big mistake from Massa that is going to deny him hitting finalist here. And Gwen and Epos respectively will take the 10 and the 6.
And finally, you saw, like you said, Gwen setting up a little bit of a wider outside line. What that wider outside line lets you do is not have to correct alongside the cement on those reactor soups. And what an absolutely important result in the context of this lobby. Massa stays on 135, needs a second or better, of course, to be on match point. Gwen on 133 only needs a second as well. And Epos on 126.
I don't know what happened to Brent on that previous round as well, and I'm sure we'll find out a little bit later on. That DNF very, very out of character at this point when points are at such a premium. Those 3 points could have been so valuable, especially with the crash that we saw late on. There was an opportunity, maybe even for 4. However, that's in the past, and we must focus on what's in front of us, and that is Massa and Epos fighting out of the front of the pack.
My Epos now could deny match point for both drivers if he's able to win this one.
Massa, though, out in the lead. Epos trying to cut that corner as close as he can. We know that Gwen will be having a nice wide line. It's actually Brent who's fallen way out of contention again, back in 4th place by almost 5 seconds. But these two, Epos looking to deny. Massa versus Epos on the line. It's Massa, though, who will get over the line and will hit finalists.
Runs it in a 1:12.370 as well. A fantastic time that's even pushing up against that Neon record. And it's a huge moment from Massa. Like we said, had he been sniped there at the line, it could be a very different result. He will now have a free shot on finalist mode at advancing.
On a map where he has been so dominant as well. For everyone else, it's about denial. For Gwen, it's about finishing the race. He will hit finalists if he does so. But Massa...
Oh my word.
DNF does not finish, and the pack is open again.
The last thing that you may have expected there, he will have to now sit and watch as the rest of the pack, and specifically Epos and Gwen, will now look for match point.
Gwen just needs to finish. Epos needs to win, but he's over 3 seconds behind the two in front of you.
We're not going to see him there.
Is this an opening? Maybe for Brent. A mistake here from Gwen, and Brent's back in it. However, Gwen not making many mistakes so far on this identity. Wants to get that wide line into the first turnaround.
See what he should be able to close this one out. As you say, no pressure really. Brent's even taking his time through that one. And this, yes, indeed, the first one through as well. He will now be in finalist mode. And what a result, and what a scenario we have here.
Double finalist.
Important to note, that was, of course, a free shot from Massa on South Korea, which he had nearly a 75% win rate on in this set of matches alone. An unbelievable result, which means we have to look at what happened on Poland in our last outing. Massa and Gwen each having just 1 win on the map sets us up perfectly. And you saw how devastating Poland was at times with this specific group. Both of them now the exclusive double finalists in this round.
And the fact that Epos was in the hunt every single time, a first, a second, and a second for Epos. He needs the points, and Poland is his pick. Do not count Epos out of this at this point, even though we have 2 players, double finalists who could qualify. Epos still has an opportunity here to throw a spanner in the works. Gwen and Massa, though, all eyes are on you.
Here we are, back to Poland, and how fitting. The map that you could certainly say gave our drivers the most trouble in terms of any identity in this set so far has been Poland, especially when it came to the first lap. Let's see who can make it happen this time. And of course, Epos wants to not only deny, but also get himself on finalist mode as well and set up a potential triple finalist.
And he's out into the lead. I said, do not forget about the Brit. He's going to have something to say about who qualifies from this group here on Poland. Gwen, though, a lot of speed on the exit into the dirt slalom. This first jump, I tell you what, that little plank they've got to aim for looks narrower than ever as Gwen just about holds on.
Unbelievable. And it ends up, he's sending it so hard, it ends up being a perfect line. He will maintain the lead through.
And Epos has fallen to the back of the pack. Remember, he needs 4 points. A 4th wouldn't be good enough for him to hit finalists. And Gwen in the lead here on finalists, just needs to hold off the challenge from Bren to qualify through here. Gwen, 1 more jump to go. Gwen has done it. Gwen is qualified.
And this French crowd in Paris, you can see what it means to them. And also what it means, of course, to the AGAL crew. Not just in the context of Trackmania, but in the club championship as well. Gwen is through, but we don't have too much time to celebrate because we have double finalist mode between Massa and Epos.
And the Epos does get those points he needed. So like you say, it's double finalists for all of the eyeballs that are on Gwen, quite rightly, for qualification. All of a sudden, we have a shootout between Epos and Massa. Only 1 spot available for qualification here.
This is what you get on Super Saturday. There's not even a moment to focus on that last race. Instead, it's all about the battle now between Epos and Massa. Keep in mind, Massa, the world record on this map. Can he send himself through, or will it be Epos maintaining the lead?
Well, Epos made a mistake on the jump last time around. I'm pretty sure Massa and Epos this time. Oh no! It's an absolute disaster again for Epos. Does not make the jump, and Bren might be about to deny him, but he's got Massa breathing down his neck.
Take a look at Bren here. He knows he has to deny for more reasons than one. A lot of pressure riding on him here.
Comes through clean. Massa, I think the gap's just too big. He's relying on a mistake. Bren comes through clean. Bren comes through clean, and Bren will deny.
The only result that would keep us striving here, of course, was the Bren win, and he will do it. He will put himself on 128. And can he create another miracle, or will it be Massa or Epos through here? And Epos, look at the pressure. Just had his chance, and on the first jump, the first part of the identity theme of the map, he will find himself falling into a DNF. Will history repeat itself? By the way, already out to a huge lead over Massa in the back.
I mean, for Massa, just stay in touch, because you've seen Epos make mistakes on that jump numerous times, walking the plank. And unfortunately for him, just slipping into the shark-infested waters below. It has been tough for him. And all eyes are going to be on him once again as we go through the dirt slalom here and we approach that jump. How's the grip looking this time for Epos? Comes through clean.
Comes through clean, also gets wheels down. Tiny bit of counter steer in the air here. Onto the lily pads. He is clean. Bren right behind him, though. Bren wants to deny yet again.
Bren with a little bit more speed on the exit as well. Epos is under pressure. Epos holding on, though. Pressure situations make great moments here in Trackmania as Epos will hold on and will qualify. A massive, massive moment for him as Epos keeps his dreams alive.
He's been touted as the dark horse, the one who could challenge the best to ever do it, and he makes it through. And you could just tell, look at this reaction. A man who has played this game for a very long time and been on many stages finds himself with pure relief after that last race. He will come through on a 109.175 on Poland, but much more importantly, will advance to the group.
A lot of talk about his talents away from the game, but let me tell you, this is where he is looking elite. The consistency got him into the position, but the ability to hold your nerve and correct the wrongs of previous rounds on what must have felt like the biggest jump of his career. He came through that first jump clean into the lily pads and then holds off the challenge as well in the final identity. Brilliance when it comes to having that ice. Epos deserves that spot.
And also needing Bren to deny Massa on that mistake run as well. And
crazy.
That is the beauty of not only Trackmania, but also the action here at the Esports World Cup. You need to make sure that you're not only playing the track, but also playing the field. And in the end, it's Gwen and Epos getting through.
Well, as we say goodbye to the racing, it's only about time that we should catch up and hear what the qualifiers have to say. Adam Savage is on our main stage right now with our two drivers.
Here we are back at the main stage. Paris, give it up for Gwen and Epos! Come forward here, fellas. It's time to do the honors and crush some keys. Amazing scenes. Absolutely incredible quarterfinal there. And first, that'll be Gwen stepping forward and crushing the key of Massa. Please come to the key crusher. And if you come just over here for me, Epos, we'll just witness this this big moment, this enormous moment in our Trackmania Esports World Cup Championship. My goodness, you can lean in there and watch Massa's key being crushed by Gwen, our leader in this quarterfinal. And there it is. Out of the competition. Come here, fellas, as it resets. Come and join me just over here, Epos too. Gwen, I'll start with you. What an unbelievable race that was. I want to ask, the AGAL fans have been going crazy. How much has their support helped you in this moment?
It's a very big support. Like, I heard Falcons fans behind me, and it was so hard to keep the pressure, and AG fans helped me to keep it, and I just wanted to win it.
We saw there at the beginning of the race, it took you a little bit to get into it. You're a bit behind. Then suddenly, the second half of the series, you just stepped things up. And what turned it around?
Yeah, I saw I was 2 or 3 on the car, so I sent it. So
Loved it. Epos, very quickly before crushing the key of Bren. You mentioned this there. You can't leave it that close next time. It seemed very close, but still through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean, start of the match, I was playing good, consistent. Then we got to Argentina, and I think I failed like 3 rounds in a row. It just kind of got in my head a little bit, and he kept getting closer and closer, and it was just, yeah, I don't know, man, unreal.
Epos, you reset now because you are through to the semi-finals. Both of you, I'm going to ask you now, Epos, to come on over to the key crusher and crush the key of Bren. What an incredible moment this is just down there for us. As once again, we have Gwen and Epos making their way through to the semi-finals of our competition. Trackmania, the greatest esport of all time. We're getting there, I think we are. Absolutely incredible. There it is. It's crushed. What a moment. We'll see them later on in the semi-finals. But for now, it's back to Rain Day in the gang. Does it get any better than this? What an unbelievable race.
And what unbelievable consequences. The club championship, had Gwyn not won, would have almost certainly gone to Falcons. But because he stays alive, so does the hopes of an organization. AGAL still in the running, and Trackmania yet to potentially crown a winner. And that, of course, will lead us to some more matches to talk about. But after that, we got to get to this one. Welcome back on the desk. Rain Day here with Aaron Import, Brooks, Cheeky. Gwyn and Epos move through. The favorite, the beatboxer, the fan favorites of many. These two certainly deserve this moment, but on the other side of that coin, I mean, Masa was so close as well.
He was so close, and honestly, it's sad we didn't get to see what mistake he had. We're going to assume probably he bumped against a wall or something, or just a little clip that forced him to go 0.8 behind. But honestly, what a battle. There was no front runner really at any point. Maybe Masa at the beginning, but honestly, with Trackmania with 140 points, the first half really doesn't matter. Yeah. It sets you up for a successful latter half, but at the end, when it gets to later rounds, everybody starts waking up. It's like, okay, it's time to get going. And we saw that with everyone. Even Bren, he had a really successful portion of the match, but then unfortunately just fell off so hard after the map switched to Canada.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I mean, he talks about that latter half. That's where we're seeing this decided. Despite who comes in driving a little bit better, it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, exactly. And coming back to Gwen, he had such a slow start. Over the course of the first 2 maps, only 39 points collected. That's downright abysmal. He managed to somewhat navigate it through around, I'd say, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, like also Poland were a little bit messy. But by the time we reach Canada, this is when he started his resurgence. 30 points out of 40 collected. It compressed the gap down to only 4 points between the first and third. And then after that, just circle back to the second rotation to South Korea, righted the wrongs of the first rotation, which went completely south, and concluded on his first attempt on Poland in a beautiful fashion.
Yeah, and I think on the side of Epos here, he did really well for himself for certain maps like Poland and whatnot, but I saw something with Argentina. Not sure, something wasn't clicking. He was having a terrible time. I believe he even had a DNF at one point.
Yeah.
And it was a rough Argentina for him. Also South Korea, a map that he's been wanting to play so bad. He's like, why is everybody banning South Korea? I want to play it. He gets a chance to play it, and then he's lacking pace, about 0.1, 0.2 behind each round. So he has to shore those up coming into the next round. I believe he can do it. He knows he can do it. You saw the reaction on stage, that just overall relief, but he's got to recuperate himself for the semifinal.
Yeah, he barely made it through, and the person he beat out was Masa, who has some thoughts about not qualifying and what it means to him.
Masa, how tough is this to take right now? There was 3 of you in finalist mode. You booked your finalist mode spot first, and it didn't work out for you.
Yeah, feeling a bit empty right now. got my form back, I would say. I performed today very, very well. Can't complain about that. But yeah, the way it ended, Brand denying me in the second last round. Then in the last round, I just get an unfortunate slowdown, to be honest. SK, I choked the last round of the map, but then again, it's like one fail. Yeah, I don't know, just a bit unfortunate, but at least I played good. So yeah.
And the crash in Poland as well, kind of letting EPOS get back into it. Do you think it was the stress?
I mean, it's normal to make mistakes, I would say, under pressure. I don't think I really did bad mistakes. It happens. You have to push. Yeah, it definitely helped EPOS getting finalist earlier on, but it wasn't really on my mind. I just played my game and tried to finish a clean round, and one round it wasn't enough, and the other round was unfortunate. So yeah, that's that.
Can you try and explain to us what the pressure feels like out there on stage?
Honestly, it's a very nice feeling. I like it a lot. I like having pressure. I like playing under it. Somehow I couldn't handle it the last few days. Today I could, I would say. Just unfortunate ending, and yeah, I enjoyed it very much. That's why I do this. I enjoy the pressure, actually. I really enjoy the stage matches.
Are you going to learn from this? What are you going to take away from this experience?
Every day is a new day. Anything can happen, and always believe in yourself. And most important, what I learned for today is have fun. And I had fun.
Quarterfinalists, having fun at EWC.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Can't complain.
Thank you.
Keeping the bigger picture in mind, one step at a time, making his way towards a new version of himself that can be a little bit better next time he shows up under the lights, but at least enjoyed the process of getting there.
Yeah, I hope he sticks to those words that he has. He has a bit of a reputation after events like this, and, you know, going through it, he has a little bit of a crash out phase. So I really hope he does stick to those words. I think, honestly, Masa should be proud of his performance. I mean, yes, it's a tough loss, but at the same time, like, he has performed really well. I wish he would have gone further. It would have been nice to see another German go forward into the tournament. But honestly, it's a tough world out here on this stage with
easy.
all of these matches. And we're literally having the best of the world. So
it's just a cutthroat world, not only in the real, but also in the virtual world, the world of racing. You got, as we say, the same motto as Esports World Cup. Nothing is ever granted. Everything is earned.
That's so true. I appreciate it. I know that we've got our schedule coming up here in a moment for you. We've got more races happening here. Elcon, Mime, Josh, and Paco coming up next. G-Geek, excited for that one?
Honestly, yeah. Elcon and Mime, former teammates, I would say frenemies in a sense, fighting against another former teammate of theirs, Paco. And one of the greatest stories over the course of day 2 and 3. Can he keep it going in day 4 and to the semis?
Yeah, I think Josh and the emotional turnaround you talked about important to me. I've got my eyes on him.
Oh, 100%. Dark horse through the roof on him for him. That's going to be his title for this tournament. I don't think anybody expected him to get this far necessarily. And for him to be at this point and to be so scary now with his performance against Otek and Mosal, he's going to blow it out of the park if he's on point.
And don't forget, a new t-shirt. That's right. Josh said he'll have a new t-shirt for today. We'll see what that is. So many free agents in Trackmania. Orcs, come on, scoop it up. All right, Chris Dunn has an update for us on the Katia City grid about what's going on with Fortnite and the club championship race. When we come back, Josh and the rest of Group 3 take the stage for our third quarterfinal here at Trackmania.
Here at the Katia City Grid once again, and this is going to be a regular theme, Lauren, coming backwards and forwards. Of course, AGL not doing too great on our stage. They still have some hope. Not looking too hot for them here in Fortnite, though.
No, they're not. And I don't know what's going on today, but Falcons have found themselves at the top of the leaderboard. But the big story right now is that we are in match 9, and Aurora are the only team on match point. They hit it in the last game, so if we win here, we're done. That's the end of the tournament. If they don't, we go again until we do get a winner, until we hit match 15. This could be Aurora's chance. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It's just going to have to see if they can actually do it.
And where are Falcons sitting right now? I presume when it ends in whatever game, wherever they're sitting in the leaderboard is where they finish, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see where they end up. They were in 5th, I believe, heading into this. So we'll have to see if they maintain that, get a little bit higher, because then whenever they get points-wise, it's all going to come back down to your stage. See if they can make up for it.
I'm far too stressed about this, to be honest with you, Laura. We're going to be going backwards and forwards all day. Thank you very much for checking in with the update. In a couple of minutes' time, I'd imagine. Honestly, it feels that quick. Thanks, guys.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the breed, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Big update here over at the Qiddiya City Grid. AGAL have just won a game of Fortnite, adding about 100 plus points to their tally, moving up from 18th to 16th position, while Falcons currently in 11th as it stands. But more importantly, denying a win from Aurora, who had a chance to close out the entire event there. If it stays moot, well, we'll still be deciding things on Trackmania. If another game like that happens, AGL may get some extra points over Falcons there, would change things here. We will keep you up to date. Welcome back here to the desk. Rain Day here with Import and Turbo now joining us. To me, this is a really great star-studded matchup, and it's in the different type of stars that you would think. There are people who have had journeys to get here that maybe were a little bit less on the top side from the Pax, from the Carls, from even the Epos and the Gwens that we've seen be so dominant. Josh, to me, takes the cake as maybe the best story of a dark horse, but also somebody who showed their emotion and has now got a lot of fans rooting for them to keep succeeding.
Yeah, I think each of these players have a decent fan base that are rooting for them in certain ways. And honestly, they are all at this point. I would consider them maybe slightly underrated across compared to the rest of the board.
Every single one of these players, probably, huh?
Yeah, I would
agree.
definitely agree that none of these players are necessarily expected to make it to the grand final, but they have the ability to.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is for sure. I mean, Elcon, one of the fastest players out there. He is so good, but also a moody player. He only plays competition that he really enjoys. Mime, I think a player that a lot of people sleep on. He's very scary, a very consistent opponent, plays the format. We have seen that yesterday as well. And then, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend.
Salmon. You didn't wear salmon today.
1248.
He wore it.
Yeah, he had the feeling that he probably was going to wear it, and then I was like, you know what?
You didn't want to match.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. You look good anyways. And then Paco, of course, who is, he kind of started off sending Mudda down to the lower bracket. Now Mudda's not even here.
I mean,
Does it twice.
Yeah, he's definitely good, but can he remove the O from good and become a god?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good question. Obviously, Paco has his family here in the stands as well. You saw the Virtus Pro signs. That is a big deal, too. And, coming into this Turbo, there's...
Well, just here, the sign. Maybe we can go back in the shot. It was
you missed the people with the signs behind you.
The sign was just
in the limelight.
Yeah, it was.
All right, Turbo.
Okay, what was the question again?
I didn't ask one.
Okay.
It's okay. Let's keep it on moving here. Elcon is coming up on your screens. We talked with him before the matchup. See how he's feeling going in this group of dark horses who could be favorites.
Elcon into the quarterfinals, but I feel like you've been going under the radar just a little bit. Do you like that we're not giving you too much attention?
Yeah, obviously, I'm a bit shy in interviews and all of that stuff, so I don't really mind it, but I'm here to perform.
Do you think you're a little bit of a dark horse and maybe other people are underestimating you?
Oh, definitely. I haven't been to a World Cup yet, so this is my first time. I don't know what people are expecting, but I don't think it's that much. I hope I'll prove them wrong.
We've seen a little bit of what to expect. You have been fast. I think whenever anyone says Elcon, they go, he's got the pace. He's so fast. Is that your secret weapon, your speed?
Yeah, definitely. But even the consistency is there today, so I think I'll perform good.
You've already taken down quite a number of big scalps. How would you assess the last couple of days?
They were good. I think I performed pretty well, even against the really big names. So I'm definitely happy with that.
How do you feel yesterday was, having that day off? Has it stopped that momentum a little bit, or has it helped you, would you think?
Well, it was refreshing to have a day off. I really analyzed all the matches, looked at what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and today I've improved on that. And I think I'll come into the last day really strong.
What was the weakness? What were you trying to improve?
Well, definitely some parts that I really couldn't make consistently. That's it. The speed was there, but I think my consistency was the issue.
Did you analyze your opponents as well? And if so, what did you find out?
Well, I did. And we found out what their picks are, what their bans are, what their preferences are for maps and all of that. So I think we'll have a really good day.
I feel like you've been the perfect student. You've studied well. There's now time to go into this exam and you're feeling confident.
Definitely.
Okay, Elcon, good luck today.
Thank you.
Team Nemesis's Elcon ready to go fast and also stay consistent with it. A day off, Aaron says it helped him.
Yeah, and I mean, he is known as a player who lacks consistency, but he's so fast that he can beat anyone. And honestly, this tournament, he has been relatively consistent, I feel like.
I agree. I mean, it's a different Elcon that we've seen. Usually he is a glass cannon. He goes fast, but then crashy as well at some point. But yeah, Elcon, also a very good interview, you know, talking like very, very deeply about what he has actually been doing, analyzing matches and all of that stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd like to pull the focus over to Mime. We haven't talked too much about him. A really good player. He's considered always a scary element to any event that he arrives to because he is known for such a high level of play, but for whatever reason, this tournament, the hype hasn't necessarily been surrounding him, but he's had some really good wins in this tournament, and so he's a top contender coming into this matchup.
I mean, I'll use it again, Scarecrow. So we had some Scarecrows for the hype. I mean, we have been talking about the big names. There's the club championship on the line, huge tournament as well. Maybe Mime not getting as much of the eyes from his players and maybe from the fans, but maybe the one to deserve it. This quarterfinals should certainly prove that.
But I mean, that's always the case for Mime. And that's really the thing. He is someone that you have on the radar of maybe winning it, but then at the end, he falls a bit further behind or loses that one match. Maybe this is the tournament where he redeems himself and makes it all the way into the final.
Not only the tournament for him, but the tournament for everybody in this matchup. Again, this is the race of the dark horses. Who is the darkest horse that's going to make it through to the semifinal? I can't wait.
And also the fan favorites are in this match here as well. Josh and Paco, great stories that have been, and I cannot wait to see this match. It will be absolutely awesome.
Yes, maybe sometimes the personal elements, the lights, they've distracted